should be able to go racing upon our return. So again, this is Motor Racing Network with you from Michigan International Speedway. We'll be back on the air at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of the Quicken Loans 400. Stations, this is the Motor Racing Network, live with you at Michigan International Speedway. Track drying is underway here for the Quicken Loans 400. We will be back on the air with you at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of our event. It does look as though the rain has stopped. Track drying is underway, and we should be able to go racing upon our return. So again, this is Motor Racing Network with you from Michigan International Speedway. We'll be back on the air at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of the Quicken Loans 400. Stations, this is the Motor Racing Network, live with you at Michigan International Speedway. Track drying is underway here for the Quicken Loans 400. We will be back on the air with you at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of our event. It does look as though the rain has stopped. Track drying is underway, and we should be able to go racing upon our return. So again, this is Motor Racing Network with you from Michigan International Speedway. We'll be back on the air at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of the Quicken Loans 400. Stations, this is the Motor Racing Network, live with you at Michigan International Speedway. Track drying is underway here for the Quicken Loans 400. We will be back on the air with you at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of our event. It does look as though the rain has stopped. Track drying is underway, and we should be able to go racing upon our return. So again, this is Motor Racing Network with you from Michigan International Speedway. We'll be back on the air at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of the Quicken Loans 400. Stations, this is the Motor Racing Network, live with you at Michigan International Speedway. Track drying is underway here for the Quicken Loans 400. We will be back on the air with you at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of our event. It does look as though the rain has stopped. Track drying is underway, and we should be able to go racing upon our return. So again, this is Motor Racing Network with you from Michigan International Speedway. We'll be back on the air at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of the Quicken Loans 400. Stations, this is the Motor Racing Network, live with you at Michigan International Speedway. Track drying is underway here for the Quicken Loans 400. We will be back on the air with you at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of our event. It does look as though the rain has stopped. Track drying is underway, and we should be able to go racing upon our return. So again, this is Motor Racing Network with you from Michigan International Speedway. We'll be back on the air at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of the Quicken Loans 400. Stations, this is the Motor Racing Network, live with you at Michigan International Speedway. Track drying is underway here for the Quicken Loans 400. We will be back on the air with you at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of our event. It does look as though the rain has stopped. Track drying is underway, and we should be able to go racing upon our return. So again, this is Motor Racing Network with you from Michigan International Speedway. We'll be back on the air at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of the Quicken Loans 400. Stations, this is the Motor Racing Network, live with you at Michigan International Speedway. Track drying is underway here for the Quicken Loans 400. We will be back on the air with you at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of our event. It does look as though the rain has stopped. Track drying is underway, and we should be able to go racing upon our return. So again, this is Motor Racing Network with you from Michigan International Speedway. We'll be back on the air at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time with continuing coverage of the Quicken Loans 400.
Nothing compares to using them to help save a life. Find out more about this latest method of CPR at handsonlycpr.org. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
And now it's time for Rich Eisen.
Wow. Love it. Love it.
And we're The Rich Eisen Show.
Go follow the number one receiver. Follow him around for a whole entire game. Let's see what you can do. He's the only defensive back that has it.
Four-time Pro Bowler Antonio Cromartie here on The Rich Eisen Show. So where did this come from? Your comments on Richard Sherman. It's not new that Sherman's been at the sort of on the business end of the criticism that he doesn't travel with the receiver. But the subtext of that, Antonio, is that either A, he doesn't have the ability to cover number one wide receiver in certain spots in the field, or B, he knows that and is hiding behind the scheme in Seattle, Antonio. So are you saying that about Richard Sherman?
No, I'm not saying that at all. All I said was if he was if you want to consider himself the best, go out and go follow the best. That's what I said, 2 weeks ago, and that's not something I would never change.
This is The Rich Eisen Show, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, on Fox Sports Radio.
The following commercial is sponsored by FeedThePig.org, an organization devoted to helping you save money. We will not entice you with messages like
lowest prices in town, dealer approved, certified pre-owned.
Nor will we brag about our
huge selection, enormous variety.
We will offer no contingencies like
See store for details. Legal exclusions apply.
Because we simply want to help you spend smarter and save better. Log on to FeedThePig.org. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
The Ben Maller Show.
What is wrong with this?
Ben Maller.
How would you assess your own game right now?
The Cleveland Cavaliers were outscored by 27 points when J.R. Smith was on the court. Every minute that J.R. Smith was on the court, the Cavaliers were outscored by a point. He played 27 minutes, and the Cavs were outscored by 27 points.
The Ben Maller Show. Weeknights at 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific, on Fox Sports Radio. You want access to our locker room?
Welcome, everybody.
Log on to foxsportsradio.com and register.
Welcome to paradise.
What am I going to see in there?
The locker room contains rants, upcoming sports events, info, and much more. Information. That's the locker room.
Enter identification.
Register now.
Enter password.
At foxsportsradio.com.
Oh, it's great.
Register now for the locker room.
You now have access.
At foxsportsradio.com.
Great to have you.
We are Fox Sports. Major League Soccer is live on Fox Sports 1 tonight as Orlando City travels to the nation's capital to take on DC United. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1.
Bill Ryder, Cole Wright, Fox Sports Radio, hanging out with you. The Ryder Wright Show. What does it mean when Geico says just 15 minutes could save you 15% or more in car insurance? It means you probably should have gone to geico.com 15 minutes ago. And then you can go to Twitter at Cole Wright _FS1 to follow him. I'm at Sports Ryder, Sports REITER, Rebel T13 at Rebel _T13 tweets, FYI, crew members of pirate ships carried small blunt cutlasses, not swords. Captains carried swords. Hashtag Redbeard. Do you hear that, Redbeard? Are you still there? You've been corrected. You've been corrected, Redbeard. Also,
I just call them swords, Bill. I knew it was a cutlass, but I just wanted to say swords. So the rest of the audience knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, Redbeard actually is so Oldsmobile, he rocks a Cutlass Supreme.
I also got I love it when I get tweeted. I'm verified on Twitter, and like when someone's verified tweets at me, it's really cool. I got a from verified account, Chicago, the city, I guess, tweets at me. Please stop using the word Chicago and Cole Wright in the same sentence. It's not very nice, Chicago. You can go to at Sports Writer. I'll retweet it at Sports REITER and just check it out. Cole Wright, what's up, buddy?
I'm just hanging my head here right now. That's pretty much all I can do. 6 weeks in a row. Yeah.
I'm here in San Francisco, getting ready for those NBA finals.
Can't believe it.
And I like that you're up on Cleveland. You think LeBron maybe has 47 points in him?
That's where I'm going. You know, I was last game. I said Golden State. I called it. They're going to win by 21 points, and I said Steph Curry was going to drop 40. I was off on Steph Curry. I was right on my game prognostication. So I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to go Cleveland by 3, and as long as I don't put any money on it, which I normally don't, which I never do, I'll be fine. But if I were to ever go out there on a limb and say I feel so great about this, I'm betting the house, I would be on the street the next day. That's normally how it goes. Usually how it goes, Bill. Dude. Usually how it goes, man.
You know, it's been a really, I feel confident the Warriors are going to win. But I felt confident the Warriors were going to win every game, and they've obviously they have only won 2 of them. It's a really difficult series to project because other than the last game, Steph Curry has somewhat shrunk in the moments that have been in front of him. He has not played particularly well. And other than the last game, when I think he was exhausted, and he was still good, but other than the last game, LeBron James has played at about as high a level in an NBA Finals, especially when you have what is more or less a scrap heap of players compared to your competition to carry. And that makes it a very difficult situation to try to guess or intuit, or what do you call it, Costradamus?
Costradamus, that's right.
What's going to happen? I feel like, and I felt like this the entire series, that eventually Steph would figure it out because it is a process. Look, there are people who choke in big moments because in big moments they can't handle it, right?
Yeah.
And there are people, like we all do, who fail in big moments in the short term, and that failure is part of teaching them how to make how it works. It was true for me on my first TV audition. It was true for LeBron James in his first NBA Finals with the team that really had a chance. It has been true for Magic Johnson. It's been true for everybody not named Michael Jordan. So
your first TV audition, how did it go?
Story? Oh, no. Dude. Oh yeah. Fox Sports 1. I had done some TV. I did some TV for Jim Rome in various places.
Okay.
But I got brought in to do I guess the audition that went well enough on eventually that they moved me to Los Angeles when I lived back in Kansas City.
Okay.
And I performed in that first audition the way that you have in Chicago, not just Chicago, which is to say, not the way that I know I was capable of. It was bad, dude. Like, one of the VPs came down and just, very aggressively was like, you need to be better than this. It was bad. And you know what? I went home. I went back to my hotel. I hung out with my wife. I'm like, I guess we're not moving to LA. That's all good. And then I went back the next day. I got in the mirror. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to burn the boats and just see what happens. And that's part of the deal, right? Like everybody in life, whatever you do for a living, you have moments where you do well, you do poorly. Mm-hmm. But like reps in our business, experience in life, it usually leads to good things for most people. Yeah. And I think that's where Steph Curry was. I don't think he was a choker.
No,
that doesn't mean that you don't choke. I'm not a choker, but I certainly choked that first time. And lucky for me, I had 3 or 4 shots at it. Yeah. Lucky for Steph Curry, it's a best of 7 series. Like, I think there's nuance here when we talk about people who choke or the moment's too big, and everybody wants to run away from nuance and run to, he didn't choke, he did choke. Well, the truth, I think, is usually somewhere in between. LeBron absolutely called choking. If you want more polite word, because it makes you uncomfortable to speak candidly about what it was. Didn't play well because of the moment 4 years ago with the Heat. Obviously, the guy figured it out. So for me, Cole, like, even though it's hard to figure out what's going to happen in the series, I think Steph Curry's going to get better as every game goes by.
Sure.
I think his team's going to get better as every game goes by.
Absolutely.
And I think the Cavs and LeBron have a chance to run out of steam. And I'm worried a great series up until Game 4 could be a series of routes starting again tonight.
Wow, and that could be where we're at. But I think it's going to be independent upon Cleveland to get a little bit of a mixture in there. I like I said, we talked about it earlier in the show, and I think I need to see more Sean Marion. I need to see more Mike Miller. I need to see more Kendrick Perkins. Whether or not Kendrick Perkins is a shell of his former self, or Mike Miller, if he can shoot like he could when he was in Miami or not. Or if Sean Marion is just a guy who's going to be out there walking through a fog in a haze, I think that will present matchup problems for Golden State. Whether it be they want to run or not, I think that they maybe will just muddy the waters, just clog things up a little bit, and it'll be a variance from the norm. So I think that's where Cleveland needs to be. And like I said, I'm going with Cleveland, a 3-point victory in this one. And the series, it's already on, but right now that'll really make it the best series that we've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't think you're wrong about Sean Marion or Mike Miller. I'm not sure that they're any good anymore.
Wow.
There's got to be a reason David Blatt isn't playing these guys. I know Sean Marion must be frustrated, but he can't get in. You would imagine there's something in practice, and what we've seen from Mike Miller hasn't been, for the most part, very impressive. The thing is, David Blatt, you don't have a choice. Like, I don't know what David Blatt has seen in practice, in shoot-around over the course of the season, but he's certainly seen, in terms of the roster, what we're seeing. There's no Anderson Varejao.
Sure.
There's no Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
There's no Kevin Love. And there is certainly not a J.R. Smith that you expected when you came into this series. At least that guy was healthy. At a talent level, he should be able to do a little bit more, to say the least, than he's been doing. You got to play somebody. And I get, and it's interesting because I'm not even mad at Blatt. They had a chance to win 2 games in Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
They really could have been up 3-0, right? Because the Golden State. So David Blatt may have very strategically and tactfully and intelligently gambled the series on, I know that LeBron can't carry the team for 7 games, so I got to put these guys out of their. I got to put them down while I can, while they're still a little on their heels, while they're still figuring out the moment. And he rolled the dice, and the dice came up wrong. I mean, had the Cavs won the first 2 games, and obviously they won at home, they would have been up 3-0. Series is over. All of a sudden, you can change the rotation. You can rest LeBron.
Yeah.
Because you can pull the pedal back a little bit. I do sort of wonder if the series didn't, because when you win the first game of an NBA Finals, 70% of the time your team goes on to win the whole thing.
70% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah, even though the Warriors lost the next 2, those percentages still hold. I don't know, Cole. I'm down with you talk about LeBron at 47, and I'd love to see it. I'm just worried the Warriors are too much and LeBron's not going to have enough.
It would make for great theater, but I think the one thing when you talk about Sean Marion, a guy who's been at the end of the bench making sure it doesn't pop up, is that how long before he's checked out? When he sees things and inefficiencies in the Cleveland Cavaliers game, and he knows, well, I could go in there and I could help make this a better unit on the floor right now, and I could do this and I could do that, and it is a team sport, but at the end of the day, these guys are individual players. So if he's not getting any burn in this set of finals, he sees out there and he knows he can make an impact. It's like, you know what? Pfft, whatever, man. If you don't want to play me, Coach Blatt, then that's your fault. If we lose these games, then that's on you. I've been in this league for quite some time. I'm proven. I know what I can do. If you don't believe in my skill set, then shame on you. I can help us win. And that's the only thing that I would be afraid of if I'm a fan of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and if I'm David Blatt. Is Sean Marion, is he checked out? If he finally does get into the series, will it make a difference?
It doesn't really matter if he's checked out if he gets 0 minutes. But if he comes in, to your point, I guess in that theory, if that's what he's thinking.
Does he not even care anymore when he finally does get in?
I think it probably go the other way. I mean, it's a finals. He's won a championship, and he has something to prove. I mean, I watched him warming up the other day. How do you know when a guy's just a shoot around? But he looked good. I mean,
his shot always ugly, but maybe it was going in. Yeah, does he ever look good? Even when he was great,
going down. I like the way that he shoots because it's kind of weird. It's not like he doesn't have a peg leg like Greg Bergman. I'm just saying, like, he looks physically able to go. Mm-hmm. But David Blatt's been killed, by the way, by the media, and I have certainly said my share.
Wrongfully.
No, I don't know about wrongfully, but like he's done a nice job tactically in this series. He's just like defensively, I think it was schematically what he's done has been somewhat impressive. He has ridden LeBron James, which is just what you have to do, I think, when you get to this point. And look, like the whole Jordan thing, and I know, Cole, you come down very like Jordan would never. I get it, but Jordan never won an NBA championship when his two best players went down. Like, LeBron James is playing without his two best players.
Good point.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. And, with that also being said, you said, that Michael Jordan played with Hall of Famers, but not saying that LeBron James doesn't make everybody he plays with almost instantly better. But Michael Jordan kind of made some of those guys around him Hall of Famers, with the exception of Dennis Rodman. His credentials were already there when he came from, obviously, San Antonio, correct?
Pippen could play, but there's no doubt Jordan took him to another level.
Next level.
There's also these X factors that Jordan had on his players that LeBron does that you don't see, like behind the scenes. LeBron has evolved into a pretty amazing leader, a leader of men, an inspiring guy. So did Jordan. Jordan wasn't that guy when he just started in the league. He was selfish. Players didn't always like him. He didn't pass. It's a process.
That's the thing. And LeBron seems to be this product of AAU basketball where he played with everybody. I played with that guy. Hey, man, we lost. You won. Let's go hang after the game. And you see that more and more as the years go by. But, I heard a story from a former NBA player. He told me one time that he was playing in a game with Michael Jordan, and a guy on the opposite team of Jordan, he was on the guy that was telling me the stories, on his team, he was wearing Jordans. And Jordan was at the free throw line shooting shots. And he kept telling him in a tirade that was just laced with profanity, take my shoes off. You're not good enough to wear my shoes. You better take those shoes off, and just kept going on and on and on. And that's a different side that we never see. And I don't think LeBron has that. That's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. But
I don't know, dude. He got after Steph Curry, and was it game 3? Like, he got in his face and was yapping, and like Curry kind of looked a little surprised. And then afterwards, LeBron was like, what I talked to him about is between us. He's got some of that in him. I think he's pretty good at managing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, dude.
You tell a man to take off your shoes. First of all, I don't know why the guy was wearing another grown man's brand name of shoes in the first place. But when you tell that man, but if I was an NBA player when Jordan was in the league, I don't think I would wear Jordans if I'm playing against him. Like, that would be like, like me wearing, like, you're using a Bill Ryder brand of pen. Like, when we're trying to write competing stories. Like, that wouldn't even make any sense. Like,
it would probably help you in Chicago.
It probably would. Maybe, Bill, when you come back, I need your pen, by the way.
You can have my pen. But, you know what?
It doesn't make any sense. Jordan is that kind of guy, the ultimate competitor. He'll kick someone down a flight of stairs that's in his family if it's going to help him win. So
I always think of Fight Club when somebody says that. Just that scene in Fight Club where he throws himself down some stairs. Let's talk to Rosalind Gold on Woody. She's the Warriors sideline reporter. 60 seconds from now, Greg Bergman, is when we get into some insight from her, a woman who covers the Warriors on a daily basis. But first, here's what's trending.
Sweet Willie and Cole, Game 5 of the NBA Finals between the Cavaliers and Golden State Warriors tips off tonight at 8 Eastern from Oakland. And for the first time in J.R. Smith's career, someone actually wants him to keep shooting. Seriously, LeBron?
The main thing with J.R., I don't care how many shots he missed. I don't want his head to be down like it was in Game 4. It's a make-or-miss league. J.R. practices enough. We all are all professional athletes, and we practice on our craft. But you can never allow someone to ever see that you're down about what you're doing.
The series currently tied at 2 games apiece. This update brought to you by TrueCar.
Welcome back, everybody, to Michigan International Speedway Motor Racing Network with continuing live coverage of the 47th Annual Quicken Loans 400. I'm Eli Gold. Glad you're with us. Well, we have good news and bad news. The good news is the rain stopped. We were under a red flag for 59 minutes and 4 seconds. And the Air Titans did a magnificent job drying the racetrack in 40 minutes. Drivers are summoned back to their cars. They have refired the engines. You might hear them in the background now as they are going by. However, as they have been taking their pace laps here, the rain has been starting and stopping, coming and going. As a matter of fact, Brett Bodine, who's at the wheel of the pace car, one lap says, well, it's raining too hard to go, NASCAR, talking to the tower. The next lap, he says, well, it's stopped. The next lap, it started again. The next lap, it is stopped. So right now we're playing a bit of a cat and mouse game with Mother Nature before NASCAR can make a clear determination if we are safe to get this racetrack into race-ready condition. At the time of the caution that came out on lap 11 because of rain, Carl Edwards was shown as the race leader, Casey Kane second, Kevin Harvick third, Jeff Gordon fourth, and Ryan Blaney fifth. Sixth is Martin Truex Jr., Matt Kenseth in seventh, Brad Keselowski lining up in eighth, Kyle Busch in ninth, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 10th. The condition is still very much of a fluctuating one. Dave Moody, you're out there on a tower in turn 1 and 2. Is this one of the laps where it's raining on you or not raining on you?
This is the lap where it's a beautiful day, Eli. Not only is it not raining, the sun is actually out here in turn number 2. If the whole track were like this, we'd be racing by now, but I'm not sure that's the case over at Mike Bagley's end of town.
No, it's not. We've actually had to run for cover here underneath the platform in turn number 3. It's coming down at quite a nice clip over here right now.
And now there's a fairly significant downpour that's made its way across the Michigan International Speedway. So we are raining again here at the 2-mile MIS. And regretfully, all of that great work that the Air Titan did in just 40 minutes to dry the racetrack has now been totally eradicated. Hey, folks, a quick reminder that you can join NASCAR in honoring our armed forces by tweeting or posting your personal salute using hashtag NASCAR salutes, or visit NASCAR.com/salute today. Our coverage of the rain conditions here at Michigan International Speedway will continue. Carl Edwards, under the caution, now is the race leader.
This is MRN's Kim Kuhn with trending news for mom and dads-to-be. It's the Exergen Smart Glow Temporal Scanner Thermometer. Several of my friends are having babies, and this is my new go-to shower gift. It's the #1 choice of nurses and pediatricians, too, with accuracy supported by over 50 published clinical studies. Exergen's easy for anyone to use and super fast, which racing moms and dads love. I have one, and you should, too. You'll find the Smart Glow at your favorite local retailer. Exergen, changing the way the world takes temperature.
I'm a carbon fiber 29er full suspension mountain bike. My owner and I are attached to the hip, literally. We were, until the apartment got robbed while he was at his vinyasa yoga class. And the burglar used me to make his getaway. My owner's gonna be uber bummed when he realizes I'm gone. I guess he'll have to find another way to get his daily dose of adrenaline. Maybe he can take up urban beekeeping.
Your stuff can't protect itself. That's why the Geico Insurance Agency helps make it easy to switch and save on renter's insurance. Renter's insurance will cover personal property loss or damage as well as provide liability protection. Visit geico.com today.
Here at Michigan International Speedway, the yellow flag has just been withdrawn. The red flag has been displayed for the second time after the initial red flag period of 59 minutes and 4 seconds. So again, the running of the Quicken Loans 400 brought to a halt because of Mother Nature. More coming up from the Irish Hills in just a moment. From Michigan International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Chip, what are the 2 most important reasons people buy from Ford Lincoln of Ocala in Village Ford of Bellevue?
Easy. They've shopped everywhere else and found out that we have the selection and the price that can't be beat.
Exactly. People buy from us because they know when it comes to new Fords, no one comes close to our huge inventory of every model, equipment package, and color Ford has to offer.
And when it comes to price, Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue is unbeatable. Backed by our low price guarantee in writing.
We invite you to visit our websites at fordofocala.com or myvillageford.com. View our complete inventory of new and certified pre-owned Fords. Then check out the long list of positive reviews from our customers who have purchased or had their vehicles serviced with us.
Although selection and price are important, you also receive the benefits of a courteous factory-trained certified staff that just makes doing business with Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue a real joy.
Come in for the selection.
Come in for the price.
Come to Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue, your family of Ford dealerships where we've got what it takes.
This is WOCA, News Talk 1370. We are the source, WOCA.
Welcome back, everybody. Motor Racing Network live with you here at Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. If you're not familiar with the geography here, we are 65 miles west of downtown Detroit and 56 miles northwest of Dearborn, Michigan. Of course, the significance of those cities, as well you know, Detroit, the home of the General Motors Corporation and the Ford Motor Company, headquartered in Dearborn. Right now, the red flag has been displayed again, and it really is so very frustrating because as we look at things from our MRN broadcast location here in the infield, just adjacent to Pit Road, there's a significant amount of rain that has fallen, particularly down the back straightaway and through turns 3 and 4. But then as you look back out past the racetrack, there is actually some blue sky there and certainly clearing skies. So it's been very much of a hit and miss, cat and mouse kind of game. There are a lot of little pop-up showers that weren't there a short while ago. Then they quickly pop up. They seem to disappear as quickly. On pit lane, as a matter of fact, right now, many of the drivers are just standing out there totally uncovered, if you will. No umbrellas, no rain gear. Many others have stayed in their race car. Clint Boyer, one of those who has chosen to stay in the car. Other drivers have climbed out of their car right now and are just standing there. Heavy cloud cover, though, out behind the main tower and through turns 3 and 4. There's a good crowd. To tell you how limited the rain is, there's still a great crowd that has stayed in the grandstand. Some folks certainly have gone down to the sanctity of dryness, if you will, but many have stayed in the grandstands. There is no lightning, no problem of that nature, and it's just wet enough for this to become a problem. Obviously, those of you who are longtime NASCAR followers, you know, and those of you who are not longtime followers may not know that NASCAR teams do not use treaded tires. Most folks know that, and obviously a slick tire with the least amount of wetness on the track could have hydroplaning issues. So that's why a little bit of rain, unfortunately, goes a long way when interfering with an event such as this. Taking a look at how some of the drivers have fared in the first 19 laps, the man who's probably had the biggest move, although I think regretfully for his fans in the wrong direction, Brad Keselowski, who started in third and has dropped to 8th place right now through the first 19 laps of the event. Kyle Busch, who had a wonderful day here yesterday, winning the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. He is 9th, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. is 10th. If you're a Jimmy Johnson fan, he is sitting back in the 11th spot. Other drivers of note near the back of the field, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right now 28th during this second red flag period because of rain. Paul Menard at 32nd. Ryan Newman at 33rd spot. Greg Biffle, after having made a stop, he is now in 41st position. There was also a lot of work being done to the Smithfield machine for Eric Almirola, as when the yellow flag was displayed, of course, work can resume on race cars, and Eric Almirola's team was busily working on the pit lane, getting that car back into fine racing condition. Eric Almirola coming into the event here this weekend at Michigan International Speedway has had only 6 finishes outside the top 15 this year. That's one of the names that when you talk about guys who have had really outstanding showings, or pretty good showings in 2015, his name doesn't always get mentioned, but he should. Of course, he had that tough run last week, losing an engine at Pocono, which dropped him to 14th in the points, but he's one of those drivers who has also won here at Michigan International Speedway, running in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and he won the event in 2010. So Eric Almirola with work to do. Alex Bowman lost a couple of laps early after going wide in the corner up near the wall. He did get 1 lap back as the beneficiary on caution flag number 1. He is still running in the shotgun position now, 1 lap in arrears. So that's what's happening here. As far as lap leaders are concerned, of course, Casey Kane starting on the pole today. Carl Edwards led lap number 1. Kane came back to lead lap number 2, and Carl Edwards reassumed the lead at lap number 3 and has led thus far through the 19 laps. And we are again dealing with our second rain situation of the day. The first rain coming for 59 minutes and 4 seconds. We have now been under the red flag for another 6 minutes in this second portion of competition. The average speed, not counting the red flags and the caution periods, up near 186 miles an hour. Carl Edwards touring the speedway at 194.201. So those are some of the numbers that stand as the top performances here this season. You know, we talked about Michigan International Speedway. This is a track, like so many of them across America, that has been adjusting its capacity over the years, adjusting from the great days of years gone by to where they are now. Many tracks, built and built and built in the old days, to the tune of Michigan with 137,000 seats, now having removed seats from the third turn area, totally changing the look of this racetrack. Today, holding 72,000 seats, many of which are full for the race fans hoping to see the 47th annual Quicken Loans 400. Under a red flag at Michigan. We continue with more right after this.
Okay, cut to the future. They lied. Robots are not going to be here to do the work for you. That's okay, because the future of tough is here. Introducing the all-new Ford F-150, the only pickup available with envelope-pushing genius. Like a remote tailgate release, loading ramps that stow right inside the bed, LED side mirror spotlights that light up the worksite at night, and a 360-degree camera that shows you the lay of the land around your truck. Over 100 patents, so you can work even smarter. All wrapped in a high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body that can put in an honest day's work and take whatever you want to give it. This is the all-new Ford F-150. Climb in and feel what it's like to drive the future of tough.
Claims based on a properly equipped 2015 F-150 with available features. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR.
Welcome back, everybody. You hear the jet dryers in the background as they, along with the Air Titans, circulate here at Michigan International Speedway, drying the track after our second rain delay that is currently ongoing. But listen, we have a treat for you coming up here in just a moment or so. So many of you always like to learn more about Danica Patrick, one of the drivers in the garage area who gets so many headlines. Well, Steve Post, as well you know, hosts a show for us every Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. It's called MRN 360, a very popular show that is carried on many of these Motor Racing Network stations. When we come back after this local timeout, we are going to be hearing an MRN 360 rain-out version, although we're not rained out, we're just in a rain delay. So an MRN 360 rain delay version, as Steve Post shines the spotlight on Danica Patrick. That's coming up in just a moment. From Michigan International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind. With a custom treatment plan that really works, I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
WOCA. AM 1370.
96.3. 96.3 FM.
Hi, this is Steve Post. Welcome back to MRN's coverage of today's broadcast. As we wait out this delay, let's look at one of MRN's newest shows called MRN 360. It's a fast-paced, complete, full-circle look at the sport of NASCAR racing, from the drivers to the fans and all points in between. Earlier this year, MRN 360 had the chance to go 5 laps with Danica Patrick. We talked about her personal life and the 2015 season. Here's MRN pit reporter Alex Hayden.
Thanks, Steve. This year will be Danica Patrick's 3rd full-time season in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. And out of her 82 starts, she's produced 1 pole, which just happened to be in the Daytona 500, and 4 top 10 finishes. She's looking to make great strides in 2015 with a new crew chief in Daniel Canos, who coincidentally used to be her engineer. Recently, MRN 360 went 5 laps with Danica, personally and professionally. The green flag is out. Danica, what do you like to do for fun?
I love traveling, but that takes time. So I love going to new places, seeing new things, and seeing new cultures, trying new food. I like doing that. I also like spending time with my family.
Have you thought about doing the Indy 500 again?
It's like I said last year and the year before, really is the further I get away from it, the less I think about it and the less I want to do it, because I feel like, really being in the position to have a chance to win every year that I went there pretty much was something great, and I don't want to do anything to take away from that and what I accomplished by going there and being worse than that, essentially.
Now that we've seen the new chase format play out, what do you think about it?
I think it's probably taken some years off of drivers that were in the chase, that's for sure. I was stressed out about it, and I wasn't even out there. And so it was, I'm sure, I don't know, you guys probably have your own opinions, but I found it really exciting. I found it very interesting. I don't necessarily think that, all the fastest cars in the year necessarily were in the very end of the championship in Homestead. But at the end of the day, too, like with any other sport, you can just have a bad week or a bad race or a bad game, and unfortunately, that's what determines your end of the year result.
How big is it that you're unable to test this year?
I think that given it be a new crew chief and trying to kind of understand each other a little bit better and have a good level of communication, I think would have helped to have some testing, but it's the same for all of us, so that's all I can ask for.
Are you confident that you can win this season?
Well, sure. I mean, I can't guarantee anything. That's why they run the race. That's why we run the race. But I have all the confidence that I need to do it, and I definitely believe and know I can win. And it's about creating the right circumstances around you and putting the right people in the right positions and getting the most out of them. I believe that there is a lot of people that are capable, and it's about getting everyone to their potential.
Thanks, Alex. On MRN 360, the fans have a voice as well. It's called the MRN 360 Fan Feedback. Last year, we had a chance to see the new chase format play out. So we asked fans, what did you think about it?
I wasn't a fan of it, but now I got over it, and it was good. It was very, very exciting. Kind of not happy when yours gets, out of it, but it made it really exciting, and I was in Phoenix, and it was good.
I don't like it because you had drivers that had a lot of wins that didn't make it, and then you had drivers that could have made it, but because they was eliminated, then they didn't even get the opportunity.
Added a lot of excitement. So that's what I think the fans are looking for and what NASCAR is looking for. So
I've never been a fan of the chase. I'm old school. I'm a Jeff Gordon fan, so I feel like he should have 7 to the real points. So that's just my opinion.
I like the last race because they all had to really fight for it. They didn't know when they left, they had to fight for it. When they usually left Phoenix, you knew who the winner was.
Oh, it was great. It made for a lot of excitement, a lot of ink.
Well, at first I hated the idea, but after watching it play out, it turned out really good.
I think it's good. We got a new champion this year. We didn't know until the very last lap who was going to be the champion, so I like the format.
At first I didn't think I was going to like it, but I think it does make it more exciting. I came around at the end when I saw that at any minute, any of those guys could win. And I think I'm going to like it now.
I was totally confused at first. I didn't know what was happening. And then as it goes on, it got more exciting. And since my driver wasn't in there, I guess it's okay. But, I wanted my driver there. It would have been more exciting.
Well, Jimmy Johnson's my driver, so I liked it the old way. But it was fun.
That's our MRN 360 fan feedback. Another element of MRN 360 is our Beyond the Track segment. It's where we get to know drivers on a more personal level. One of our favorite subjects was, what was the craziest thing you've seen a fan do? Here's AJ Allmendinger.
A couple years ago, I don't know if it was nice to see, but this guy was a huge Ryan Newman fan, and he just loved Ryan Newman. That was his driver, and he had the 39 shaved in his back hair. And I just remember, I was at the sprint stage, and he took his shirt off, which was not a pleasant sight to see. But yeah, had it shaved in, and we see it all the time. That what makes the sport so great is that the fans, whether it's good or bad, are fanatical, and whether they like you or hate you, they that be known, but whether it's the back hair or just the tattoos, you see it all the time. People have tattoos of whoever. So that to me is just it's crazy, but I love seeing it.
Clint Boyer.
I've seen a lot of crazy things that fans have done. Probably the craziest thing that I ever had is a guy, bless his heart, man, I'm sorry if you're watching this, but he had an 07 tattooed on his arm, and I knew he wanted me to, he had a Sharpie. I'm like, he wants me to sign it. He's going to go get this tattoo. And I was like, oh, man. But I didn't have a heart to tell him he'd already signed the deal to drive the 33 car. It was only like literally 4 more races of the season. I was going to be in the 33 car the year before. He has 07 tattooed on his arm. 07 car isn't even on the racetrack anymore. So I'm sorry, bro. I didn't have the heart to tell you.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Just there's some of them, that kind of freak out, get really excited or cry, get emotional. That's really overwhelming and sort of knocks you off a little bit because you don't know how to. I don't know how to respond to that really well because it's just not normal, not something that happens every day. But just every once in a while, like every 5 years, someone will come up really emotional, either about my father or a story about me, and you really don't know what to say. You really don't know how to handle that situation, and you feel like you want to give that person, a good experience. You want everybody that that meets you to say, hey man, he's he's a good guy. I'm glad I met him. When I'm a fan of somebody, and you get a chance to actually meet that person, you definitely don't want to be disappointed. So that's something I keep in mind. But yeah, that's about as crazy or weird or awkward as it gets.
Matt Kenseth.
That would be when we were at Watkins Glen and there was a red flag and big wreck. That fan jumped over the fence and kind of dove in my right side window and wanted something signed. That was pretty crazy. I was like, man, you're going to get thrown in jail. You better get out of here, And it was actually a huge compliment because everybody's all parked around. He came to my car, so I sent him a very nice, large care package of several autographed items because I felt pretty bad to get taken to jail and taken out of there and all that stuff. So I made sure we hooked him up with some stuff.
That's Matt Kenseth on MRN 360 Beyond the Track. Coming up, we've got the latest track conditions as we wait out this delay.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What is AutoZone? Well, AutoZone is the best place for thousands of brand name quality auto parts, a full selection of chemical and functional fluids, and friendly, helpful advice if you need it.
Helpful advice, satisfactory. We require course correction. We seek Nevada. Also snacks.
Stay cool on your summer road trip and save $5 on a 20-ounce can of AC Pro Premium refrigerant with hose and gauge. Restrictions and details in store.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The makers of 5-Hour Energy are grateful for the sacrifices our troops make every day. That's why now through July 31st, when you purchase a limited time only cherry-flavored 5-Hour Energy shot, a portion of the proceeds will benefit the Special Operations Warrior Foundation. Look for it in the red, white, and blue bottle and help the Special Operations Warrior Foundation provide counseling and financial assistance to the families of deceased and fallen special operators. For more details, visit 5hourenergy.com/cherry.
We are back live now at Michigan International Speedway. We will rejoin Steve Post and MRN 360, our rain delay edition, coming up in just a moment or so. But to bring you up to speed, we have now been under red flag conditions, a combined 2 red flag periods for an hour and 19 minutes. Right now on the racetrack, the rain has stopped and the front straightaway is pretty dry right now. The apron is still a little bit damp and the turn 3 area is doing well. Turn 4 is still rather wet. It has a lot of work yet to be done, and the entrance to pit road is really still soaked, to be honest with you. So it's going to be a while yet before we go back to green flag racing. But again, other than these pop-up showers that have been bothering us today, we do have every hope of getting the Quicken Loans 400 into conclusion. And again, we'll mention something we talked about earlier today, with us being on the westernmost edge of the Eastern time zone. We do have usable light here till about 9:15 tonight. It makes for a long day for everybody, certainly, but NASCAR will use every minute of that. And now as we're pushing just 3 o'clock here, there's still roughly 6.25 hours of usable light here at the Irish Hills of Michigan to allow us to get this race in to its conclusion. Carl Edwards is the leader at the red flag in lap number 19. Hey, folks, a quick reminder, when this race is done, check out where Kevin Harvick has finished, because if he finishes in the top 10 in today's race, you'll be able to get a free bloomin' onion at Outback Steakhouse tomorrow. Just check it out. All brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. Before we return to Steve Post and more of MRN 360, let's pause right here 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network live with you here at Michigan International Speedway. The 5th race of the year that regretfully has been bothered by rain. The Quicken Loans 400 under its 2nd red flag of the day due to a rain shower. Carl Edwards, Casey Kane, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon, and Ryan Blaney, the top 5. I'm Eli Gold, hosting things during this rain delay. Of course, up in the booth, Joe Moore, along with Jeff Striegel and Rusty Wallace. Dave Moody covering the action in turns 1 and 2. Mike Bagley in turns 3 and 4. Our pit road and garage coverage team, Steve Post, Alex Hayden, Winston Kelly, and Kim Kuhn handling matters of social media. That's the crew that's on hand here, waiting for the rain showers to pass and for the track to be totally dry. But again, right now, it is not raining, and track drying is underway. As soon as we come back, more from Steve Post as we let you hear what he offers all of us on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on MRN 360. That follows this time out from Michigan International Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Ooh, ouch. Does pain have you glued to the couch? Yes, unfortunately it's true that every year we must get older, but that doesn't mean we have to deal with pain in our back, knees, or shoulder. If your muscles and joints are sore, don't worry anymore. Come get acupuncture from me and you'll be pain-free. Acupuncture starts as low as $35 at a Better You Healthcare. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein, at 615-5566. Stop your pain from driving you insane.
R&D Tactical Solutions, Ocala's indoor gun range. 12 climate-controlled, state-of-the-art lanes. R&D Tactical Solutions, full retail store, everything from firearms to CCW classes. Located next to the Supervisor of Elections. Open 9 to 7 weekdays, 9 to 5 Saturdays, and 10 to 4 Sundays. Call 622-7468. R&D Tactical Solutions, Ocala's indoor gun range. Call 622-7468.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Hi, I'm Steve Post. As we continue to wait out this delay, we're taking a look at MRN 360. It's a show you can listen to on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also listen to past shows on MRN.com. That's in the Media Center, or download off iTunes. Another element of MRN 360 is our Rewind. Veteran MRN announcer Eli Gold walks us through some of the most memorable races in NASCAR. Not just the finish, but the drama that led to racing history. One of the historic races was the 1979 Daytona 500.
The 21st renewal of the Daytona 500 was held on February 18, 1979. It is considered by many to be the race that propelled the sport of NASCAR to a national level. Several elements came together that day to make that Daytona 500 one of the most famous in all of NASCAR history. To start with, the race was the first to be televised in its entirety from start to finish. Second, a President's Day snowstorm in 1979 had the Northeast and much of the Midwest totally snowed in, giving the telecast a captive audience. And third, the race itself had one of the most dramatic finishes in all of NASCAR history. Due to rain the night before, the 1979 Daytona 500 started under caution and remained that way for the first 15 laps so as to dry a few spots on the track. When the green flag was finally displayed, Donnie Allison wasted no time in taking the lead from pole sitter Buddy Baker.
Green flag, and the field goes to green of the Daytona 500 on the 16th lap.
as they jockey for spots down in turn number 1. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Donnie Allison has a 2-car length lead on Buddy Baker. Cale Yarborough underneath Darrell Waltrip fight for the 3rd spot.
On lap 30, the leaders, Donnie Allison, Bobby Allison, and Cale Yarborough, would bring out the 2nd caution of the day.
Trouble with the leaders up in turn number 2. Donnie Allison leading the race. Bobby Allison tried to tuck back up in the draft. The 2 cars appeared to touch. Bobby hung on, but Donnie's Hawaiian Tropic car got completely sideways down the racetrack. Bobby Allison, unable to avoid him, also started spinning. Cale Yarborough caught up in it, also spun his car. The 3 machines spun out of control into the infield grass, which is very soaking wet from the downpour late yesterday afternoon and last night.
All 3 drivers would lose at least 1 lap due to the crash.
Now remember, Barney, as we have posted, Donnie Allison 1 lap down, Cale Yarborough and Bobby Allison 2 laps down. It's so early in this race that if we have some extended periods of caution, those drivers very easily can make those laps up by not coming in under caution and going all the way around. And should that happen, we'll explain it to our listeners. But there are some methods to quickly make up ground, especially if you go a lap down early in an event.
After a lengthy caution, the race resumed with numerous drivers taking the lead, including a young Dale Earnhardt, who for the first time in his career led a NASCAR Cup Series race.
The sensational driver from Kannapolis, North Carolina, pulls in front of the field and across the stripe, Dale Earnhardt. Neil Bonnet is still second. Up into 3rd position is Parsons as Bobby Allison tries to get that car into position should we have another caution to get one of his laps back.
On lap 54, the biggest crash of the day brought out caution number 3.
We have trouble in front of Eli Gold.
As they head to turn number 4, we've got 2 cars. A.J. Foyt is involved. He cuts in front of Pearson. He goes harder to the wall. Along come 3 or 4 cars spinning through the dirt. We've got 2 more cars in the wall directly in front of us. 6, 7, 8. Possibly 9 cars involved. Back to the tower.
On lap 73, the 4th caution of the day came out, involving Harry Gant and Neil Bonnet.
Terry Labonte trying to sneak through along with him. The coattail sideways. Neil Bonnet, he takes Terry Labonte
Trouble
with
in
him.
turn number 4 as one car crashes, spins down on the apron of the track, and one car skittering. Harry Gant slams into the wall and bounces all the way back out into the middle of the speedway and hits the outside retaining wall.
The caution was a lucky break for Donnie Allison, who got back on the lead lap.
We have had a thing that's been handed to us from scoring that will make a big difference in this race if he stays out there. Donnie Allison, who's really been riding as hard as he can to keep his lap and get it back and been riding in front of the pack. We have a report from scoring now that he is back in the same lap with the leaders.
Just past halfway, John A. Utzman blew an engine and brought out the 5th caution of the day. That caution helped Cale Yarborough get one of his laps back.
Jackie, that caution flag was a break for Cale Yarborough in that 2-car breakaway draft. He was running just ahead of Benny Parsons. So when the pace car picked up Parsons as the leader, Yarborough got a free pass around and picked up one of the laps he was down.
17 laps later, Cale Yarborough would get another lap back on the 6th caution of the afternoon.
Cale Yarborough races back to the start-finish line under the caution and picks up another lap on the leader, Donnie Allison. Caution is on the speedway for the 6th time today. Blackie Waindring of Bloomington, Minnesota, dropped an engine in turn number 3.
With 62 laps to go, the 7th and final caution would slow the race. And once again, it was Cale Yarborough beating Donnie Allison back to the line to get the number 11 back on the lead lap.
Caution is on the speedway for the 7th time.
And here goes
afternoon.
Cale Yarborough in the backstretch. He'll try to get back that last lap.
Cale side by side with Donnie. Cale goes by Donnie in turn number 3. The yellow light is on. They'll be racing to the yellow flag.
Cale glued down low, then he floats up high. Now Dale Earnhardt tries to take a position back on Richard Petty. Out of turn number 4, it's still Cale Yarborough with the advantage over Donnie Allison as Cale tries to reassume back on the same lap.
For the next 58 laps, Cale Yarborough drafted his way back to the front to set up one of the most memorable finishes in NASCAR history.
Here they come. Out of turn number 4, the white flag is in Chip Warren's hand as he gets ready to display it to Donnie Allison. Cale just tucked in there. When will Yarborough make his move? They flash across the stripe and white flag for Donnie Allison. They're back in turn 1.
Last lap, Donnie Allison is 20 car lengths back of brother Bobby. Donnie leads Cale Yarborough by 2 car lengths. They're one groove from the top of the racetrack, and Cale's Busch Oldsmobile stays aligned right on the back bumper of Donnie Allison. They're out of turn 2. They're down the backstretch. Here goes Cale on the inside.
Cale makes the move. He's down very close to the grass. Donnie tries to shut him off. Cale's in the grass. Cale loses it. He tries to pull it back. Donnie side by side. They make contact. Both head toward the wall. They hit the wall in turn number 3. We'll have a new leader. We've got them diving down into the infield now as we look for the leaders coming up the back straightaway.
They are in turn 2 in front of Mike Joy.
Here comes Richard Petty. He leads Darrell Waltrip by 5 car lengths. 5 more lengths back to A.J. Foyt. Race traffic. Waltrip closes, but Petty is up there.
Caution is on the racetrack, and it will be a battle back to the start-finish line.
Heavy traffic in 3. Waltrip running right behind Petty. A.J. Foyt is right there. They move to the high side. They want to pass Ty Scott. Richard brings him to the 4.
Richard Petty takes the outside. He's got Darrell Waltrip close behind. 2 car lengths back to A.J. Foyt. Richard Petty takes it into the triumphal. He's got the advantage right now.
Here they come to the stripe. Richard Petty's STP Oldsmobile. Waltrip dives to the inside. Petty almost put him off in the grass, and Richard Petty will win the Daytona 500. The Petty crew jumping up and down on pit road, congratulating each other. This Daytona 500 has had it all. Donnie Allison, Cale Yarborough crash in turn 3 on that final lap.
The cars of Donnie Allison and Cale Yarborough came to a stop on the apron of turn 3. Both drivers got out and began to argue. Then Bobby Allison stopped his car, and the confrontation escalated.
Jackie, over in turn 3, we interrupt for a moment. Cale and Donnie both out of the cars. Bobby Allison has brought his car down there. A furious discussion taking place just down below the banks of turn number 3. And now it appears we may have a fist fight. We see drivers and helmets. Safety officials trying to jump in there and separate them as tempers have really flared after this amazing incident on the final lap coming into turn number 3. They battle on the ground at this time, and we can't see as others come running in to surround and try to separate those drivers.
For this week's MRN 360 Daytona Rewind, I'm Eli Gold.
Thanks, Eli. Coming up, we'll have the latest conditions as we wait out this delay.
Back on the road. Nice horn. Who are you? I'm the Wyndham Rewards Wizard, and I'm driving. Let's go. Whoa, Wizard, is this barbecue heaven? Nope. All those nights on the road, you earned a weekend in Memphis. Oh, I'm gonna get some ribs. Go on, partner. Wizard out.
15,000 Wyndham Rewards points earns a free night at Travelodge or over 7,500 Wyndham Rewards hotels. Start with our summer bonus point offer. Visit Travelodge.com for details.
You've earned this.
A few days ago, Brooke Tudine posted an inspirational quote on her wall that got 17 likes and 3 comments. Thumbs up, Brooke. Geico also wants to make a comment. In just 15 minutes, you could save hundreds of dollars on your car insurance by switching to Geico. And nothing says inspiration better than saving money. Well, except for those posters that say things like teamwork, excellence, and make it happen. Hashtag keep climbing. Hashtag savings.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, hope you enjoyed Steve Post and the MRN 360 and a great rewind there, bringing up some wonderful NASCAR memories. Well, as I told you earlier in the day, I'll tell it to you again. They have just withdrawn the red flag. They have displayed the caution. The track is all but dry, only a little work to be done on the pit lane, and we should be set to go back to green after this second red flag period of some 34 minutes. So stick around, everybody. Hopefully, when we come back, we'll be set to go back to work in the running of the 47th annual Quicken Loans 400. From Michigan International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Are you tired of not using your home's outdoor space for entertaining or relaxation because of all the bugs and leaves? Consider adding a beautiful screen room or glass enclosure. We are Superior Aluminum and Design, a family-owned and operated business with 20 years experience in the aluminum industry, and we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. If you appreciate superior workmanship, call Superior Aluminum and Design at 817-8058 or visit us on the web at superiораluminumdesign.com.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Fidgeting can make it easier to lose weight. Many couples think that once they're married, all their issues with in-laws will disappear, but Steinort says a marriage magnifies these problems, so if you're having family clashes with potential in-laws, it's best to resolve those issues before you get married. Just like couples can take out a loan for a house or a new car, there's been a huge surge in loan companies catering to wannabe parents.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hi, I'm Fran Darkington. When I need news, I pass the rest and tune to the source. WOCA.
WOCA.
Welcome back, everybody, and listen closely in the background. Music to all of our ears. The race engines have fired. The teams are on the racetrack. making a few laps now. Pit road is not even open, helping dry off the racetrack. We'll be going back to green here shortly. Kim Kuhn has joined us here in the trackside studios for MRN, and I dare say everybody has been lighting up Twitter and Facebook and all else during the breaks, huh?
They have, and we hate rain delays, but the thing is we have fun during them. I know Steve Post and Alex Hayden did a little question and answer during it, and then I was following some things going on social media. Sherry Pollux tweeted a picture of Martin Truex up on the box with her and said, we're not supposed to see him up here on the pit box during the race, which I loved. But I think my favorite one I saw was Michigan International Speedway from their account, and we retweeted it from @MRN Radio, tweeted a little picture of Danica Patrick and Justin Allgaier helping out their pit crew. They were actually on those squeegees, standing on them, giving them weight to help them get that excess water off.
See, some folks can do that. You carrying Danica along, she'd help. If one of us got on the squeegee, it wouldn't work so well. How about a guy like Brad Keselowski? I know he was over visiting with our TV friends for a good while. Does he still have a chance to tweet during a delay like this?
You know, he does, and he usually does take the chance to go to Twitter and tweet during a rain delay, but he wasn't up in the booth, so we saw some silence from him. But a lot of great memes and stuff throughout that, and a lot of fans asking us, and I don't know the answer, and maybe you can give some foresight. What's the record of rain delays in a season? We got multiple questions.
That one I don't know. Obviously, this is the 5th race that has been affected by weather this year. Richmond and Bristol, Atlanta and Kansas, this one being the 5th. But I do know as far as length of races, and we mentioned this earlier, we had a race here many, many years ago. It was a costly day because we were playing cards in the booth all day, and Barney Hall was just cleaning all of us out of every penny that we had. We finally started around 6:30 and wrapped up shortly after 9 o'clock. So that'll be... You hang right with us for a second, Kim. I want to take a moment here to check in down in Carl Edwards' pit area. He is the race leader, and Darian Grubb is the crew chief. Let's hear what he has to say at this stage of the day.
And Eli, it's all about timing. As the jet dryers are coming by right now, making a quick pass down the pit lane just to make sure it's in good shape before we can go back racing. And Darian Grubb is that crew chief for Carl Edwards. Well, I know it's tough to hear down here, Darian, but rain delay after rain delay, how much is this going to change the racetrack and your strategy with the setup of the race car?
Yeah, it really doesn't change anything for what we do. We just got to kind of wait till the competition caution here and do the strategy we had laid out already.
So with that being said, you guys had an awfully fast race car. The opening 11 laps went straight to the lead and have been there ever since. Did you guys plan for a potential weather day like this? And if so, how do you do that a day or two in advance?
Yeah, we did as much as we could, just trying to build some adjustability in the car because you never know what your temperature is going to be, what cloud cover and sun and things like that. Track condition changes a ton. So we just built a little adjustability in it. Hopefully we can chase it all day with the Aris Toyota.
That's Darian Grubb. He is one of the best down here in the business as far as calling races and strategy. They've got the race car right now in position number 1. His driver is Carl Edwards. Darian Grubb, the race leading crew chief, and we'll wait just like everybody else to drop the green flag. And I can tell you from down here in the pit lane, beautiful blue skies overhead, but there are some big white puffy clouds off in the distance. But right now we got blue sky overhead.
We'll take it 21 laps in now of the 200 that make up the total distance. We're spending time with Kim Kuhn, finding out all about today's social media. Of course, our social media update being brought to you by Exergen Smart Glow Temporal Scanner, the #1 choice of pediatricians and nurses nationwide. We heard there from Darian Grubb visiting with Alex. Are there many crew chiefs on Twitter? I don't hear about too many.
There's not too many. I know Keith Rodden's one. He's the only one over at Hendrick that's on Twitter. So I wish, this is kind of a call to all the crew chiefs out there that don't have Twitter because there's not many. Get on Twitter. We want to hear what you have to say.
Certainly Keith has lots to brag about with his team being on the pole earlier today. Kim, thank you so much. We'll let you get back out onto the pit lane and start sending pictures over there to our followers.
Sounds good. Thanks, Eli. And fans, don't forget to tweet us using #AskMRN.
Indeed so. Kim Kuhn joining us here in our trackside studios. The pit lane is going to be opening this next time, and the field gentlemen will be getting the 1-to-go signal next time by, so we're closing in on racing, fellas.
Can't wait, Eli. Thank you. I like what you said. Music to our ears, Rusty Wallace. The fact that the cars are even on the racetrack, that's good news in itself. And this racetrack is dry. You and I were just standing outside. We said, boy, it looks as good right now as it has, in the last 24 hours for sure.
Yeah, it really does, Jeff. It looks fantastic right now. I mean, the weather's pretty well cleared out. We got a lot of moisture in the area, but a lot of clear looking areas up there too. Nothing like we had earlier. Guys are all, right now the drivers are thinking about what am I going to do to my cars. The crew chiefs are concerned about these restarts. And above all, the engine guys are real concerned about all this starting and stopping on their engines. That's never good on a race car engine. When you heat it up, turn it off, heat it up, turn it off, goes through all these cycles. I would say that's the number one concern right now for the race cars.
The pit road is open, although everybody electing to bypass the entrance onto pit road. They're going to stay on the racetrack. Steve Post, let's get the latest on what's going down on your end of pit road. They had the opportunity. They passed it up.
Yeah, indeed they did. We have the competition caution coming up in lap 35, so everyone wants to see what's going to happen over the laps between now and then. So no real change, no real giving up anything. We've got this competition caution coming up. They could not fuel the car either. So what we've got down here on this end of pit road is a wide open pit road area. All the teams have dried their pit boxes, and everyone's anxious to get started back here again at Michigan.
Well, we are as well, Steve. In fact, we will be coming around to take the American Ethanol green flag. Boy, that long-awaited 23 laps are complete. The field works down the back straightaway. When they come around to take the green flag, this is how they will line up. Row 1, Carl Edwards and pole sitter Casey Kane, Kevin Harvick and Jeff Gordon. They're together in row 2. Then it's Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr. Row 3. Row 4 has Matt Kenseth and Brad Keselowski. Row number 5 for the restart, Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Jimmy Johnson lines up 11th for the restart. Austin Dillon in 12th. There's Joey Logano 13th. Kyle Larson 14th, followed by Ty Dillon. He lines up 15th. 16th, Denny Hamlin. Then it's Kurt Busch in 17th. Tony Stewart 18th. David Reagan 19th, and Trevor Bayne, that's the top 20 as they've called off the green flag. Yellow flag is out once again, so another lap at least before we get back onto the green. Rusty Wallace, is there any concern now with these engines? They ran for, 18 laps or so? Shut off, rain, temperature swing, now going again?
Joe, I think that's probably the biggest concern for the engine builders would be that right there. I mean, the engines are fantastic. They're all fuel injected. They're really controlled, by the crew guys as far as their lean mixture to rich mixture when it comes to the engine preparation and tuning. Although, heat is always something really bad. And I always used to hate it when I would cycle the engine. These engines have cast iron blocks, aluminum cylinder heads. A lot of times these metal alloys don't like each other. They don't like to get hot and cold as much as this happens. So, yes, I would say if I was on that box right now, my number one concern would be, is the engine okay? Is it happy enough right now under these conditions?
And they have just waved off the green flag yet again for another lap. Here's what happened, Dave Moody, and I think you probably had a pretty good view of it. Alex Bowman, who has been on and off pit road throughout the first 24 laps, came off of pit road, went right by you, blew out a tire, and took a lot of sheet metal and deposited it all the way down the back straightaway.
Yeah, bad afternoon, getting worse for Tommy Baldwin Racing and Alex Bowman. He clouded the wall on the second or third lap, seems like so long ago now, did some severe damage to the right rear corner of that car. They worked on it for as long as they could until the red flag came back out again. They've been in and out of pit road a couple of times since we went back to the yellow, but as you described, a tire issue on that machine got cut down and scattered a bunch of debris about half the length of the back straightaway. They're working hard to clean that up right now.
Last thing in the world we need after all the rain, now debris holding up us, our chances of getting back under the green flag. Maybe another lap before we go back under the American Ethanol green flag. So let's check in with our in-race reporter, Kyle Larson in the Target Chevrolet. Kyle, back to it, hopefully getting ready to go once again. Is this starting all over again?
I hope we get started soon here. I'm getting pretty antsy. Thought we were going green there, then we're going to run under caution for a few more laps while they pick up debris.
Are you pretty happy with what you found out in that first little green flag run? Did you learn anything at all there?
I think I learned that you have to somehow get the clean air because it can be really hard to pass. But yeah, I think everybody was pretty loose as far as that first run. So we'll get to this competition caution and tweak on it some, but hopefully get a little bit better and try to work our way forward.
All right, Bud, we'll check in with you later. That is Kyle Larson, again, our in-race reporter here today. Our in-car communications are a service of racing electronics online at racingelectronics.com.
Let's revisit with you on pit road for us here this afternoon for the Motor Racing Network. Winston Kelly, Alex Hayden, and Steve Post handling all of our social media throughout the year. Of course, that is Kim Kuhn. And let's revisit with the two guys that are going to help us call the action. Once we put them under the green, Dave Moody, we have waited, but sooner or later, the wait will pay off.
Well, hopefully Mother Nature will decide that we're more stubborn than she is determined at this juncture. We are ready to go here. It's turned into a beautiful day. There are still heavy clouds overhead, but we're getting a little glimpses of sunshine here and there. Track is completely dry, albeit green. Safety crews have made their way almost now to the end of the back straightaway toward Mike Bagley.
Yep. Heading our way right now, doing one final pass and picking up any pieces of debris that was laid down by the Alex Bowman car. Right now, the track is completely dry. Best weather conditions we've had, I'd say, in the last hour and a half or even 2 hours. And we're set to go back racing here, watching the infield and the fans in it, up on top of their campers and their motorhomes. They're ready, and we're ready to go back to racing here in the Irish Hills.
All right, thanks, guys. The field comes across the line once again, and still we don't see the one-to-go signal being displayed. Dave, I guess a little more debris back there than we originally thought.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. It's basically tire shrapnel and pieces of sheet metal the entire length of the back straightaway. It looks like they've just about finished things down toward Mike Bagley's end. I would take a hazardous guess that we'll probably see the one-to-go next time.
Well, the field works off turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Officially, 26 laps have been completed. 174 remain, and we are getting the indication that we're going to get the one-to-go signal when the field comes back around. So we got about a lap and a half, Rusty Wallace, before we go under the green flag. You know, Joe and I were looking at race winners in the field. Best of all, Greg Biffle. He's been to victory lane 4 times. The winningest driver on the property, well, that is you. 5-time winner here at Michigan. When you think back at one of those victories, does one stand out over the other?
It had to be those Miller 400s that I won, you know, when I was sponsored by Miller Brewing Company and pulling in a victory lane with a Miller sponsorship and Penske owning the racetrack back then, all those type of things, Jeff, really put a lot of pressure on me and the team to perform, and we did and got it done, and, man, it was really gratifying.
And I'm sure that's a good reason for you to really love this place as much as you say you do.
Well, I really do love this racetrack. I think it's beautiful. It's in a great area. It's a fast racetrack. I like speed. Today, these guys are 205 to 207 miles per hour going into turn 1, which is really quick, and it's fun to watch.
And it was not a track that you always qualified well at, but yet it was a track that you did perform well at.
Yeah, a lot under pressure also. I'll never forget one time I came here and Penske hauled Robin Pemberton and I to the administration building room and said, I want to talk to you. I'm tired of qualifying bad. I qualified 33rd that day, I think. We had 3,000 guests here. He was embarrassed. He was upset. I felt pressure. We went out there, won the race. And he met us in victory lane. He just stood there and put his hands on his hips and shook his head and said, you guys. And we celebrated and went on. But he said, please start qualifying better.
And you did.
Yeah, the very following year, we won 10 poles that year. We really got it done. But, yeah, whenever you come to Michigan, you always feel the pressure to perform. But you really enjoy it if you're driving for anything affiliated with Miller Brewing Company or Penske around this area.
All right, we're coming to the American Ethanol green flag. The competition caution that was going to be at lap 30 has now been moved to lap 40 because we're almost at lap 30.
We have moved it back now, 3 times? It was going to be at 30, then it was at 35, now it's at 40. Let's get to that competition caution. Let's get this thing underway. That's what we're going to do. Rusty was talking about driving a Ford or driving here in the backyard of Ford and Chevrolet. It's a Ford Mustang at the front of the field right now, but the lights are off and it is headed to pit road, and the wait is over for the fans here at Michigan International Speedway. Coming around to take the American Ethanol green flag, it's Casey Kane and Carl Edwards up front.
That's your front row, then Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick on row number 2. Carl breaks away. Yeah, we're racing again at Michigan. Carl leads the field back to turn 1.
Maybe not for long. Casey Kane has got a trunk full of Kevin Harvick's Budweiser Chevrolet. Harvick gives Kane a shove into the turn. Casey back side by side, but not for long. Here comes Edwards around the outside to the lead.
Edwards will advance with the lead. Kane will bail out now, right along in the second position, and Jeff Gordon is right there. Now Gordon will drop to the inside of the racetrack. He wants that second spot. He'll race side by side with his teammate, or will he? Kane will now come flying around the top of turns 3 and 4.
Boy, it looked like he had to roll out of the throttle, Jeff Gordon did, or he would have washed right up into the outside of Casey Kane. That opens things up downstairs. Here comes Kevin Harvick.
Harvick down to the inside of the Jeff Gordon machine. Martin Truex Jr. has gone to third. Harvick now wants fourth. He'll put the pass on Jeff Gordon. Here comes Truex now on Casey Kane.
Truex will look to the inside, trying to get a piece of that second position. It's not there. Kane will hang on to it. Truex will keep third. Gordon was under fire from Harvick for fourth. Instead, he'll slide at the racetrack. Harvick now will regroup and guide that Chevrolet to the bottom of the racetrack.
Harvick has it hooked up on the inside of the racetrack, draws even with Jeff Gordon there, side by side, as they come back to the start-finish line, and Brad Keselowski right behind, waiting to see which lane opens up.
He's going to go to the outside with Jeff Gordon. Gordon will take over the number 4 spot, at least for the moment. Close to the front, Truex on the hunt again. He'll dive to the inside on Casey Kane.
Side by side they race to the back straightaway. Kane with the advantage in the outside line, although Truex will now draw even and bypass Kane at the entrance of turn 3. Not only will Truex take the second spot, but he'll pull away by 5 car lengths.
Everybody right now trying to run down Carl Edwards. Boy, since we dropped the green flag, he is gone. It's Carl Edwards, Martin Truex Jr., then Casey Kane. That's the top 3. The battle will be from 4th on back. Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick are there.
Two-car battle for 4th and 5th. Gordon and Harvick separated by about a car length. Then a 3-man dance for 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's Brad Keselowski, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Austin Dillon.
Got a Ford and 2 Chevrolets involved in that battle. As in front of them, Harvick still not letting Gordon get any rest. Harvick will look to the inside, will fall back by a car length, but he's stalking Gordon's every move for that number 4 position.
Yeah, he closed in on him going into turn number 3, but fell back in line behind him, and Kevin Harvick will stay in the 5th spot. Carl Edwards leads at lap 32.
No matter what you're doing or where you're going, nothing beats Wrangler comfort. That's because Wrangler jeans are built with a U-shaped construction. They don't cut into you like jeans with a V pattern. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
If you don't know where you left your wallet, but know your oil drain fan is in your garage, under your workbench, left-hand side by the filter wrenches, then CarQuest Auto Parts is for you. That's because CarQuest Auto Parts is for those who really know and care about their car. Right now at CarQuest, get 5 quarts of Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Motor Oil and a CarQuest Standard Series filter for only $23.99. CarQuest is serious auto parts.
See participating stores for details.
In the Outback, we think the best part about racing is the noise, the engine, the pits. A Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. Especially a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. That's because if Kevin Happy Harvick, driver of the number 4 Chevrolet, places in the top 10 in today's race, there's free bloomin' onions this Monday. So you'll have a happy bloomin' Monday. Only at Outback Steakhouse. Valid with any purchase. 1 per table. Participation may vary. Registered trademarks used with permission.
Carl Edwards continues to lead. 34 laps are complete. Martin Truex Jr. is second, followed by Casey Kane, Jeff Gordon, and Kevin Harvick. Man on the move up to 6th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. from Michigan International Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
We're back under the green flag here at the Michigan International Speedway after waiting out 2 red flag rain delays. Now 37 laps are complete, 3 away from a NASCAR called competition caution as Carl Edwards leads. Martin Truex Jr. is second, then Casey Kane, Jeff Gordon, and Kevin Harvick. Dale Earnhardt Jr. right now running in the 6th spot. Then is Brad Keselowski, Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, and Ryan Blaney. That is your top 10.
11th right now, Kurt Busch. 12th is Matt Kenseth. 13th, Kyle Larson. Joey Logano is 14th. 15th is Ty Dillon. 16th is Tony Stewart. Then it's Denny Hamlin in 17th. Jimmy Johnson 18th. Clint Boyer 19th. And Jamie McMurray 20th.
21st, Sam Hornish Jr. 22nd, Ryan Newman. Trevor Bayne running 23rd. Casey Mears 24th. A.J. Allmendinger is running 25th. 26th, Landon Castle. 27th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 28th, Paul Menard. David Reagan 29th. And Justin Allgaier is 30th.
Further down the AutoZone leaderboard here at lap 38, it's Danica Patrick 31st, Eric Almirola 32nd, Greg Biffle 33rd, Josh Wise 34th, and David Gilliland 35th. 36th, Brett Moffitt. 37th, Cole Witt. 38th is Michael Annette. 39th, Jeb Burton. 40th is Matt DiBenedetto. 41st, J.J. Yaley. 42nd, Mike Bliss. And Alex Bowman will be scored 43rd today. That's a look at the AutoZone leaderboard at lap 39. Get proven tough Duralast brakes, the official brakes of NASCAR. Sold only at AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Now, I tell you what, lap 40 can't come quick enough. There is a lot of ill-handling race cars out there. We just watched Kyle Larson come by, like that guy's mentioned, almost hit the wall, but a lot of things are working out for Carl Edwards. The rest of them are not handling too good. He's got the clean air. He's pulling away from everybody right now, and he's looking real good. But we've got a caution play coming out here for the mandatory caution any moment now. We're going to see a lot of chassis changing, guys, a lot of adjustment going on.
Right now, the advantage for Carl Edwards over Martin Truex Jr. just about at a second. They have left everybody behind. Casey Kane crossing the line right now. He is a full 5 seconds back. But we are about to go under the NASCAR called competition caution.
And Rusty, as you said, a couple of guys really looking forward to this, namely Jimmy Johnson. Remember, he started up in the 8th position, fell down to 11th before we went under the yellow flag the first time for rain, and now he's dropped all the way back to the 18th position. He's one desperately wanted to make some changes.
Yeah, Joe, his car's really loose right now. That rear end is just barely hanging on that 48 Chevrolet, his car, but they're going to have to come down pit road, tighten it up. They never did get a handle of this car with this green racetrack. I expect a couple more pit stops, some tuning. Jimmy be right back in the game.
They usually do.
So we put him under caution here again at Michigan, coming out at officially lap number 40, and this is that competition caution. Hey, we want to remind you to join NASCAR in honoring our armed forces by tweeting or posting your personal salute using hashtag NASCAR salutes, or you can visit NASCAR.com/salute.
Carl Edwards, the race leader. Again, we are under the caution flag, the competition caution that was scheduled for the teams to check the tires because of the fact that we had so much rain here last night and this morning and this afternoon as well. So a totally green racetrack.
Yeah, a totally green racetrack. And remember one thing, they've got the adjustable track bar inside the car this year. So all the drivers that are not handling well out right there right now have really used that device to their advantage to try to get the cars handling best they possibly can. Now, for the cars that are not handling good, it's going to be tire pressure changes, maybe some adjustment with wedge in the back of the car, things like that. But one thing they have exhausted is that adjustable track bar in those cars.
Here comes Carl Edwards. Here comes Martin Truex Jr. Here comes Casey Kane, Jeff Gordon, and Kevin Harvick. Steve Post, competition caution. Things are about to get busy.
Yes, indeed they are. Jeff Gordon has the very first pit box right off here off turn number 4, and he brings that navy blue Chevrolet into the crew. Go around to the right side of it. Looks like a chassis runs out. Here's Matt Kenseth then. He is getting a chassis adjustment as well for Matt Kenseth. Trevor Bayne is in. Wood Brothers car, Ryan Blaney, tight in the center, loose up off the corner. 2 tires stop for Kenseth, 2 tires for Blaney. Tony Stewart reports the car is not too bad. They took 4 tires and fuel. Winston Kelly.
Casey Kane, they got a wrench in the car. He's been a little bit loose. Right side tire. Same thing for Kevin Harvick. In pit stall number 2, he's going to come out first. Dale Jr. second with right side tires. Kyle Busch comes out third, followed by Carl Edwards. Those are the guys first off of pit road. Everybody on this end appears that they got 2 right side tires. Going to have to check on Joey Logano. He may have done 4 on this first pit stop. Alex.
2 right side tires for Carl Edwards, who was the race leader. He's come and gone. Ryan Newman the same. He's already come and gone with his service, as well as Kurt Busch. Now Jimmy Johnson is still on the pit lane. His car began to get very loose on him, but he also had some contact on the racetrack on the left rear corner of that machine. It caved the fender in on the left rear tire. He still sits here, the car jacked up on the left side. After the crew did the regular service, in order to not get a penalty and having too many men over the wall, the crew members jumped back over the wall on the safe side. Then the car chief, Ron Malik, and a couple of the road mechanics, one of them being Zach Miller, they put the helmets on. They jumped over and they went to work on the body on the left rear corner. Jimmy Johnson just pulling away after, again, a little bit of adversity here early in the going.
Kevin Harvick, the first one off of pit road. He does so in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, and Matt Kenseth. That's the top 5 cars off pit road. Brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Do your part to support our troops. Grab a cherry-flavored 5 Hour Energy shot, and a portion of the proceeds will benefit the Special Operations Warrior Foundation.
Jeff Gordon got held up on pit road.
Dale Jr., driver of the number 88 Hendrick Motorsports Chevy. With the Sunoco Rewards credit card, you'll experience big fuel savings with every swipe. And that's good news for you, because card holders instantly save 5 cents on each gallon purchase with their rewards card. Apply now at mynewsunococard.com, and you'll save an additional 20 cents per gallon for 60 days. Don't miss the chance to save 25 cents per gallon. Get your Sunoco Rewards credit card today. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR. Limited time offer.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's July 4th weekend live from Daytona. It's about rockets, red glare, white knuckles, and blue steel. Love taps, trading paint, and taking flags. It's friends, family, and a whole lot of faith. America, start your engines. NASCAR is back on NBC. The Coke 0400 Sunday, July 5th on NBC. Coverage begins July 4th on NBCSN.
Back at Michigan, getting ready to put them back under the green flag as the skies darken yet again around here. But you know what? Right now, it's dry. That's all that matters. Harvick Jr. up front, and they have waved off the restart. Kyle Busch, then Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth, your top 5.
So the field comes off turn 4. They'll see the signal of 1 to go yet again. Yeah, it's being displayed now, and we'll try one more time. First, let's take a break from Michigan International Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
On Mondays, AM Ocala Live, Bern Pareso will be in the studio with Robin and me. She's the president and CEO of Good for All Marketing, coming in to talk to us about health providers in Marion County.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events are bite-sized.
And then Mary Jean Tully will be on, featured in Forbes magazine, speaking about luxury travel and how to travel like a celebrity.
Gail Harris is an award-winning writer. She's co-written a book with Brandy Raris titled Finding Zoe, a deaf woman's story of identity, love, and adoption.
And then auto repair with personal care. Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive will be in the studio answering your automobile questions.
Matthew G. Whitaker is a former U.S. attorney. He'll be speaking about them filing a complaint to the Federal Election Commission to investigate campaign finance violations by the Hillary Clinton campaign.
And then Dr. Christopher Hardy is coming on. He's written a book called Strong Medicine, How to Conquer Chronic Disease. All of that plus Fun with Joe on Mondays, AM Ocala Live, right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com. We are The Source, WOCA.
Today's broadcast of the Quicken Loans 400 on the Motor Racing Network is brought to you in part by 5 Hour Energy. Grab a cherry-flavored 5 Hour Energy shot now through July 31st. By Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. And by Wrangler, introducing Wrangler Advanced Comfort Jeans. Unbeatable comfort and 20% stronger. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
Back at Michigan International Speedway, I said we were about to get the one-to-go signal. Well, unfortunately, we have rain. Once again, it was a sudden downpour, just broke out. The flagman had the one-to-go signal, ready to put it up, and suddenly the bottom let out.
Good news is sun's out. Bad news is it absolutely soaked this racetrack, and guess what? That means, Rusty, we start all over again.
All over again, and I'll tell you one thing, I'm giving up the ghost when it comes to trying to be a weather forecaster. We just walked out, it was clear, everything was fine, the track was dry, everybody's attitudes are sky high, good, and here we have this problem again, but they're going to go right back to it now. The good thing here is the rubber that's on the racetrack did not get washed off. It's just rained just a little bit out there right now, so I think that the chassis changes these teams have made right now are still good, and it's going to help them.
I'll tell you what, it's been so changeable today. Jeff went outside one time earlier today. I got soaking wet. About 10 minutes later, he went out and was putting sunscreen on.
Indeed.
It was so warm out there, and it got so muggy and humid. But once again, it's the time for rain.
You and I were standing outside, Rusty. You were with us and made the comment that through all of this weather delay that the crowd here was going to go home sunburned after all, because when it's not a torrential downpour like we just had, that, I mean, what did it last? Maybe 55 seconds, a minute, and all of a sudden it's gone. Turn 3 and 4, again, completely soaked. 1 and 2, not so much. It's the same thing that we saw, let me go back and check my notes here, about an hour ago.
It's been a continuing theme is what you're trying to say.
Pretty much.
Hopefully it will end real soon. We are going under the red flag yet again for the third time this afternoon, and that'll give us a chance to say hello to Art Steiber, Vice President of Marketing and Sponsorships for Quicken Loans, the sponsor of today's race. I wish we had a little better weather conditions, Art, to play out here at Michigan International Speedway, but I think we'll make it, don't you?
Well, I got to hand it to the fans that are sticking around. These Michigan fans, they love the racing, and it's too bad that we've had these interruptions, but it's going to be a good day here.
You guys love your racing also at Quicken Loans. Had an opportunity to visit with your driver, Ryan Newman, a couple of times today, and we'll talk about Ryan's progress, which has been very good, up to the 11th spot right now. But, you know, you guys have been involved in this sport really for a long time now. Obviously, what these fans and you come together, it's a pretty loyal connection.
Yeah, it is. This is our fourth year sponsoring the Quicken Loans 400 here. And it's kind of in our backyard. Of course, we're based in Detroit, so it's great to get out here and support these fans. And the sport's been great. Ryan is a terrific driver. Last year, of course, second in the chase was exciting. And we're just hoping that this year he can get back in there again. It's been a lot of fun.
A lot of people, when they look at buying a home or refinancing their home, they look locally to somebody right down the street. You guys, it's online. You can dial the 800 number. Why would you do that and get someone out of town to take care of a big deal like that?
Sure, it's a great question. I mean, one thing that Quicken Loans has is our commitment to serve the clients, 4 JD Power Awards for customer service. And some people think they have to talk across the desk to somebody, but really the service that we provide, the knowledge, and the online tools. You can upload your documents, you can check the process of your loan at any time. So it's a great process, and it's just that customer service.
Art, I think it's really important what you've done in motorsports. I mean, not only do you sponsor the NASCAR race, you sponsor a lot of other motorsports events, different series and stuff like that. I was down in Austin, Texas last week and saw the Quicken Loans Super Truck, the Stadium Super Truck. It was sponsored by Quicken Loans, and the Penske Indy cars and things like that. So you guys really love what the motorsports world brings to Quicken Loans, obviously, and it's fun to have you guys on board.
Great, thanks. You know, we like to do fun things for fans. We're not a typical mortgage company. We like to have experiences. So it's motorsports. We're involved actually in the PGA as well. But we've got the Phoenix race in NASCAR in November. And we like to do things that fans enjoy. It just gives us a chance to engage with them and have some fun.
Well, I was in Detroit last year for the Motorsports of America Hall of Fame, which they inducted me in, and I was able to walk around the city, and I walked past your building, and I stood there on the ground and looked straight up, and I said, wow, these guys are here to stay. They mean business. That was a beautiful building down there.
Thanks. Yeah, when we moved downtown to Detroit about 5 years ago, we brought about 6,500 team members down there. We've got over 10,000 folks in our company down in Detroit now. And really, it's been an exciting time. There's a lot of revitalization. It's a terrific time to be in Detroit.
Well, it's a great time to buy, no matter what you're looking to buy. And Art, let's remind our listeners and the race fans here at Michigan International Speedway, if they're looking to make a purchase, how they can get a hold of you, either by phone or, like Joe said, either that or online.
Sure. Either way, they can call 800-QUICKEN. They can just go to quickenloans.com, submit their information, and someone will give them a call back. All the tools are right there. It is a great time to refinance or to buy. You know, home prices are still low. Rates are low. It's a terrific time for people to get back in the market if they're considering it.
All right, thanks so much for your involvement in motorsports. And here at Michigan International Speedway, always good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Art Steiber, Vice President of Marketing and Sponsorships for Quicken Loans, the sponsor of today's Quicken Loans 400.
So again, at the moment, we are under, and I know this sounds hard to believe, bright sunshine, but we are also under the red flag again for the third time while we dry off this racetrack. The sun already baking down on portions of it, have already dried it. We could probably race off turn number 2 right now. We could not do that up in turns 3 and 4. Under the red here on lap number 45, you've got Kevin Harvick leading Dale Earnhardt Jr., then Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards, Casey Kane. He led the field to the green flag 45 laps ago. He's running 5th. Then Matt Kenseth is 6th. Martin Truex Jr. is 7th. Kurt Busch is 8th. Ty Dillon 9th. Brad Keselowski is 10th. And, of course, Ryan Newman right now running in the 11th spot.
Talking about Ryan, who's sponsored by Quicken Loans here today. Let's check and see what's happening with Ryan, who's also a member of the Coca-Cola racing family. Alex?
Yeah, Ryan, well, he's out of the race car, that Quicken Loans Chevrolet. So how was the car on that quick little green flag run?
Well, we came from 33rd and we're sitting 11th and pretty much on the same strategy as everybody else right now. So good little run with the Quicken Loans Chevrolet. I have no idea what Mother Nature is going to decide today. She's definitely can't make up her mind, but just thanks for all the fans for sticking it out. Obviously, it's going to be a long day of some sort here.
Do you expect the track to change that much with these quick little rain shower bursts that we're having?
I mean, it's going to change a little bit, but it's going to change even more in dirty air, so it all depends on where you're at.
Ryan Newman's got an awfully fast race car. Started 33rd on that last restart, worked his way up to 11th. So, yeah, he's very happy right now with the Quicken Loans Chevrolet.
This report is brought to you by Coca-Cola and the Coca-Cola Racing family of drivers. Doesn't matter where you're going, every trip is more satisfying with an ice-cold Coke. So swing by your local grocery store and stock up on lots of refreshing Coca-Cola. Then don't be shy about sharing it, because whoever you're traveling with, the journey should be delicious. Coca-Cola, open happiness.
Kevin Harvick is the race leader. He's out of his car and with Winston Kelly.
And he's the race leader because of a fast race car, but also because of a very fast pit crew. I believe you came in 4th or 5th and went out first. When you're sitting in the race car, can you tell how quick a stop is?
Well, you have a good sense of it, but, these guys have been in the zone over the first part of this season here and doing a great job, and makes a big difference qualifying well and having good pit stops and pit selection and pit crew to make it happen on pit road. So it's definitely going to be the easier place to pass today.
And making a lot of bonus points. You've now led in all the races this year and 26 of the last 28 points races. Like you said, good place to pass, good place to get points. How good is this race car today?
Well, I don't really know for sure yet. It's not bad, but we've been sitting in traffic the whole time and just on the bottom on all those restarts so far. So hopefully we can get a good restart here and get out in front and see what our car has.
I asked Kevin Harvick. He's currently the points leader, and as we said, he has now led in every single points race this year, and dating back to Michigan of last year in August, 26 of the last 28 races. Let's go to another guy who's had some success here. It's with Steve Post.
Yeah, a lot of success here. We're talking with Jimmy Johnson, but Jimmy, you scuffed up your race car here. The left side of it's all dinged up. What happened to it?
Yeah, I just started racing on those restarts. That start there was a lot of action going on into turn 1 and a little bit of contact, and definitely hurt the aero of the car, hurt our fender, had a little bit of a tire rub. We had to take an opportunity to fix it there on that pit stop. So unfortunately, it's cost us a lot of track position, but we'll have to fight through that and try to find a way to get up front before this is over with.
Are you comfortable, though? I mean, Chad Knaus, your crew are magicians at fixing wounded race cars. You feel comfortable that they'll be able to get this thing massaged out and ready to roll?
Yeah, I think it's fine as long as the edge of that quarter panel doesn't roll under again. That's the problem, is it rolled under and could have really sliced the tire. I'm thankful it didn't. So I think we're past that hurdle. It might rub a little bit on the inside of the fender, but I think we're honestly good there. The biggest issue we have right now is just track position. And Cars are so sensitive to it right now. I'm hopeful the track widens out. I think if we could actually run 50 laps, the track would widen out. It's already pretty wide for a green racetrack, so it should be a fun kind of race if we can really get going and get some laps behind us.
The rhythm of this thing, is it frustrating? You talked with us earlier in one of the other breaks and said you're kind of used to it, but this is the third time I think we're talking to you in the middle of the race. Does it at some point just be like, all right, we've got to get something going here?
You can let it do that to you, but I think that takes your head out of the game and doesn't let you perform like you need to. So, I get paid to drive race cars. I'll race when we can, and it'd be nice to get the off weekend started. I think that's the motivation for all of us down here on pit lane to get this done and kick our feet up for a little bit. But still, there's opportunity in all these starts and stops, and I want to keep my head in the game, make sure I can do all I can because I'm going to need to. It's this deep in the field.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's Jimmy Johnson. He is deep in the field, but we've seen this team before bounce back and got a little damage on the left rear of this race car, but I think they can get it fixed and give it a whirl and see what they have here as this race unfolds. Let's go up to Alex Hayden.
Martin Truex Jr., Cole Pern, the rest of the Furniture Row Racing team kind of standing around. And Martin, we hear everybody saying as the Air Titans are getting ready to come by, everybody driver-wise is talking about just how difficult it is when you're in air. Give us an idea what it's like as a driver in dirty air.
Yeah, you just lose grip. I mean, it's hard to explain. The car just feels light. It's not stuck to the track, and you just start sliding around. So it's definitely difficult, but we've been able to kind of make our way through the field here a little bit twice. So hopefully we'll be able to do some more of that.
You and the rest of the team went around to the nose of your race car. Any issues there, and if so, what happened out there?
Yeah, I'm not sure what we hit. We hit some debris somewhere along the line. Got a hole in the grill. So luckily it kind of went through where the grill is taped, and it's kind of closed itself back off with tape. So hopefully it'll be okay.
This sport is a what have you done for me lately sport. Obviously, you guys riding a huge wave of momentum, not just with the win last week in Pocono, but running well every single weekend. What's it been like in the shop and around, just bouncing around to the racetrack?
It's just been a lot of fun. It's been fun to see that bounce in everybody's step, and fun to have that confidence in each other. So it's cars are fast right now. Momentum is on our side, and just we're just going to keep working hard to make sure we can kind of keep it rolling here.
That's Martin Truex Jr. He's certainly confident. The race team is confident. And as we look at the front of this race car, it's a flat black or matte black paint job on this Furniture Row Chevrolet. Very small hole down there, nothing really significant at all. But yeah, he said he ran over a piece of debris, but the nose of the car doesn't look bad at all.
Jeff Gordon didn't have a very good trip down pit road a few moments ago when they came in. He was running in the 4th spot. When he left, he was running 13th. Here's what happened.
All right, you got to look at the right front corner. 21 ran us into that stupid-ass curve they got on pit road. All right, get your binoculars out and look at it.
Yeah, I looked out the window and watched that. What I saw was a really good pit stop out of Trevor Bayne and also out of Jeff Gordon. They dropped the jack, took off. He looked good, and all of a sudden here comes Bayne in front of him. He didn't do anything wrong, but that curb was there, like Jeff said, and he got pinched. Not only did that give him a problem, he got halfway down pit road, and then he got encountered with Tony Stewart. He had to slow up there. Then he got a little farther down pit road, and he had to slow up again. It was really clogged up in the mid part of pit road for Jeff Gordon. And when it was all said and done, he came in 4th and left 13th. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, well, we talked before the start of the race here today of the fact that Jeff's team chose that very first pit stall coming off of turn number 4, the first one when you come down pit road. And there's a price to be paid for doing that.
Yeah, I tell you, we did talk about that, and I don't like that pit position. I really don't. I see the 48 car Chad Knaus do that every now and then. It seems to work out. But when I saw Jeff Gordon do that, I went, oh, that makes me nervous. And in that first stop, he got clogged up. So I got a feeling he won't do that one again because that definitely hurt.
Talking about Jeff Gordon, who right now is running in the 13th position, although he's not running. He's sitting on pit road in the 13th position. If you are just joining us, we're 45 laps complete at Michigan International Speedway. We still have 155 laps to run. We got a rain shower about 15 minutes ago, and most of the focus of attention right now is over in turns 3 and 4. In fact, watching the Air Titans there just a moment ago, they are literally blowing waves of water off the racetrack. Now, you would think that's the bad news, but the good news is it is warm, the sun is out, and it won't be too long, and hopefully we will put them back under the green flag. That's also, Joe, going to give us an opportunity to talk to Miss Sprint Cup, and that's Madison Martin. And you join us here, and we've got lots of time to kill and talk about Sprint and all the things you guys are doing in NASCAR.
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting stuff going on right now. As always, follow us on social media at Miss Sprint Cup. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, we've got it. Plus right now, we're always trying to do new things for the fans. And we recently just came back with our family share pack plan, where fans can get unlimited talk, text, and 20 gigabytes of data to share with the entire family for just $100 a month. Plus, we'll pay out your old contract and phone. So definitely log online, find more out about that at sprint.com/best value.
And that's probably just one of several things that you have under wraps. Some you're probably saving. What a great year it has been already, and hard to believe, Madison, that here we are past the halfway point of what we like to refer to as regular season. And then, of course, we'll get to Chicagoland and kick off the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup.
Yeah, it's been a fast season. It's my second season as Miss Sprint Cup. I can't believe we're already halfway through it. It's been a fun ride, and I was so pumped up last weekend because I was in victory lane with Martin Truex Jr., and that was a lot of fun to see that guy win because he's been fighting hard all season. So I'm hoping we'll see somebody else switch it up this weekend, too.
So, Madison, when you first started this gig at the beginning of the year, is there anything that you've done this year that's really surprised you? Have you learned a lot about the sport, and has it's been as fun as it looks?
Yes, it's amazing. The coolest thing for us is we are the fans' friends on the inside. And I was a fan first, so the best part for me is getting to come out here every single weekend, meet new friends, fans, and, talk to them a little bit about Miss Sprint Cup and what we do.
Well, we appreciate everything you guys do. Anything that you can tease that, we enjoy talking with you pretty much week in and week out, and I know there's always something, like you pointed out, that you guys are working on, and I'm sure that as we move into late summer and into the fall, you'll have some more announcement, but what can we look forward to?
Just great stuff behind the scenes for the fans on social media. Like I said, give us a follow at Miss Sprint Cup, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're giving away a Victory Lane hat every weekend if you retweet our tweet, Race Day. So definitely give us a follow. You might get, a Victory Lane hat from one of your favorite drivers.
We'd love to do that. Madison, have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Madison Martin, Miss Sprint Cup. We continue to wait for track drying to conclude, and that really shouldn't be that much longer because the sun is out here, but we've got work to do. Under the red flag, 45 laps complete. Kevin Harvick at the moment at the front of the field.
The following was recorded at a Burger King drive-thru at breakfast.
Morning, welcome to Burger King. Let me get a sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich. Try saying croissant-wich. Sandwich. Yeah, it's the only way to capture its flaky, buttery lightness, and right now they're just 2 for $4. Now say muffin. Muffin? Oh no, that's boring.
Get 2 croissant breakfast sandwiches for just $4, only at Burger King. Limited time only. Price and participation vary.
O'Reilly. Restore shine to your vehicle with great deals on select Turtle Wax products at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Clean, shine, and protect your vehicle with select Turtle Wax appearance products on sale for $4.49 each at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Buddy Long. Kyle Rickey and I talk NASCAR regional, local, and international short track racing Tuesday at 1 Eastern Time on NASCAR Coast to Coast, live online at MRN.com and the MRN app. Now back to Joe Moore and Jeff Striegel.
Track drying continues here with Kevin Harvick, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, and Casey Kane. Everybody quiet and sitting on pit road until we get to track dry and we can get back under the green flag. From Michigan International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Brett the Jet Hearn with 861 wins.
This is Slingin' Dirt with Ashley and David Stremme.
What is your favorite place you go to? When you walk into that racetrack, you're like, I'm the man here.
Funny that you say it that way. That's probably Hagerstown, Maryland, which has gone away now on the schedule for us.
I got a deal for you then. If you want to go, we'll put you in a second car and you can go run there.
I like that. Do I need to send you my resume?
She has it right here.
Slingin' Dirt every Tuesday at 11 Eastern on MRN.com.
Ready to take the training wheels off your race scanner? Go to fanvision.com and upgrade your experience with FanVision. Not only will you be able to hear the race,
Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets a good run, drafting help from Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. Jr. again pulls up alongside for the race lead.
you'll see every moment through live video, instant replays, live stats, and more.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, driver of the #1 McDonald Chevrolet, and I never go to the track without my FanVision. So go to fanvision.com to rent or buy yours today.
The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is running the Quicken Loans 400 here this afternoon at the Michigan International Speedway, but unfortunately for the third time here this afternoon in just the first 45 laps, Joe, we are under the red flag. Track drying continues, and hopefully shortly we can put them back under the green flag.
Mother Nature has been really hitting us hard today. We're fighting back. She usually wins, but hopefully maybe we can outlast her.
You and I were talking earlier in the broadcast today about, you remember the time we stayed here to Tuesday racing? We got it done, but oh my gosh, it was a long one.
Well, hopefully we'll get the thing back under the green flag and run to completion again. A lot of daylight hours remain here in Michigan. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Motor Racing Network welcomes you back to Michigan International Speedway. Track drying underway during what is the third red flag period of the day due to rain. I'm Eli Gold. Under the red flag, Kevin Harvick is the race leader. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is second. Kyle Busch third. Carl Edwards is fourth, and Casey Kane fifth. Wrapping out the top 10, you've got Matt Kenseth in sixth, Martin Truex Jr. seventh, eighth is Kurt Busch, Ty Dillon ninth, and Brad Keselowski 10th. The race began, but at lap number 11, rain fell for the first time. Then as the track was about dry, rain came again. A grand total red flag period of 1 hour and 33 minutes. Then at lap 40, NASCAR threw the competition caution, and during that caution period, rain hit again, bringing us to a halt for the third time today. Alex Bowman tagged the wall early in the event. He is the only team car in the garage area. Otherwise, we sit and wait as track drying is underway. This mid-race update has been brought to you by Geico. You could save 15% or more on car insurance with Geico. Call 1-800-947-AUTO as we head back upstairs. Joe, Jeff, and Rusty. Gentlemen.
All right, thanks again, Eli. Next week is an off week for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. After that, of course, we go back to Daytona International Speedway, the Coke Zero 400, powered by Coca-Cola. But a brief reminder, there is some NASCAR racing going on next weekend. The NASCAR Xfinity Series will be at Chicagoland Speedway next Saturday night in the Attic Cat 300, presented by Owens Corning. And the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series goes to Iowa Speedway for the American Ethanol 200. Both those events you will hear right here on the Motor Racing Network.
We may still be here next week at this time. No, we won't be. We promise. At some point, we're going to get this thing in. What do you want? The good news or the bad news? The good news is track is almost dry. The bad news is there is one cell that appears to have a bullseye on the backside of the Michigan International Speedway. Rusty, we got to do something here to dodge this cell and get back under the green flag.
Well, earlier in the broadcast, Joey Myers came in, Brad Keselowski's spotter, and was telling us about how unstable the air is around here. And if you look at the radar, there is just weather everywhere, and it clears up, and then there's another tiny one that gets us. But the thing I'm concerned about is how moist the air is, and it just keeps building these storms. And just about the time we tell the fans we're good to go, we can't predict what's going to happen, and it gets us again. But there's one thing I know about NASCAR. They're going to stay and do all they possibly can to get it in the day for the race fans. They don't have lights here, but it does stay daylight till about 9 o'clock up here in Michigan.
And as quick as they come, they go away. So hopefully, Joe, I'm wrong, just from what I saw on the radar. But you know what? That can change in a matter of seconds as we look above us right now, and it's literally blue sky and sunshine.
Track is drying. NASCAR says roughly 15 minutes to put the drivers back in the cars and try to roll again. So let's talk to one of those drivers, the man who's sitting in third right now, one Kyle Busch. One Winston Kelly is with him.
Yeah, when we talked to him before the race, he was lined up 10th, and he said, going to have to just wait and see how the track plays out with the rain last night, and it's played out multiple different times with rain. How has the grip been on the racetrack as we've evolved through these short runs?
It's been a little bit low, actually. I feel like, it tends to grip up a little bit more as we're able to put rubber down onto the asphalt and get a little bit of texture there. It gives the tires something to grip with, So each rain delay, it washes it a little bit, but we got so much on there already that it doesn't take long for it to get right back, But long runs certainly help out, and our M&M's Camry seems to be better on the long run. We just haven't seemed to be able to get one here yet. 10 lap increments we keep going by, but we'll just keep giving what Mother Nature gives us here and see if we can't get this race all in today.
Up to third, picked up a couple of spots on pit road. What's the balance been on the race car early?
Yeah, I've been a little bit snug, which is fine. I think the track may free up a little bit if the sun comes out here and we get some heat down. But other than that, just trying to fight through traffic a little bit. Just getting real bad tight when I get in behind guys in the corners. So you're just trying to work them around a little bit, go high, go low, see which way's the best for yourself. And so picked off a couple cars, but my guys on pit road did a great job. And we took 2 right there, so it just gives us a little bit of track position to play with. And we'll see how the rest of the strategy plays out with fuel and all that.
Trying to pick up another win here at Michigan. He's sitting in third right now. Let's slide down the grid to Alex Hayden.
Yeah, let's talk to Ryan Blaney, driving the legendary Wood Brothers Ford. And Ryan, got to be frustrating. I mean, first of all, you're not running a full-time schedule, so when you do get a chance to race, you have to race 10 or 12 laps and stop. So how frustrating is it, especially from a young driver's point of view?
Yeah, we just keep having little heat races. But we really didn't take off that last one like we wanted to. But I guess we're getting called to our cars. But hopefully after this, we had the competition caution and we were able to put a couple tires on it. And hopefully we got it fixed up and where I wasn't sideways. I thought we started off the race really good. And then after the first rain delay, we were really loose and we lost some spots. And hopefully we got it figured out. The track keeps changing, with rain and everything. But hopefully the rest of the rain will miss us, and we'll be able to get racing here and not have to keep jumping out after 15 laps.
Let's hope the same thing, and let's let him go, because NASCAR officials have just told him and the rest of the drivers in the cars. So the drivers are getting back inside the race cars.
All right, that is the best news I've heard all day. Unfortunately, I've heard it about 4 times already. Hopefully this time it'll stick, and they'll stay there. Of course, we're here trackside in the Carfax.com broadcast tower. Remember, now you can say, show me used cars for sale at Carfax.com and search with the power of Carfax. Even better, Carfax reports come free. Find cars you want, avoid the ones you don't at Carfax.com.
A few moments ago, we had Miss Sprint Cup, Madison Martin, joining us here in the Carfax.com broadcast tower. Of course, we have a former Miss Sprint Cup with us on the Motor Racing Network, handling our social media each and every weekend. It's been a long day already, Kim, and it's only going to get longer.
Oh, I know. Lots of fans wanting to see this race go into green. They've been saying it feels like we're playing a game of red light, green light. But to keep the fans entertained, I've been down on pit road taking pictures and posting them to our Twitter at MRN Radio. If you got something to say about this race so far, you can always tweet us using hashtag AskMRN, or you can leave a message on our fan forum hotline by dialing 1-844-4AskMRN. So that's what's happening on social media.
Thanks a lot, Kim. We are standing by as track drying operations continue, but the track is graying up all the way around. It's looking really good yet again, and currently they're working along the pit lane trying to get that dried up so we can get back onto the green flag. 45 laps are complete. 155 to go at Michigan.
This is MRN's Kim Kuhn with what's trending for racing moms and dads to be. It's the Exergen Smart Glow Temporal Scanner Thermometer. It's fast, accurate, and is supported by more than 50 published clinical studies. The Exergen Smart Glow is available at your local retailer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What is AutoZone? Well, AutoZone is the best place for thousands of brand name quality auto parts, a full selection of chemical and functional fluids, and friendly, helpful advice if you need it.
Helpful advice, satisfactory. We require course correction. We seek Nevada. Also snacks.
Stay cool on your summer road trip and save $5 on a 20-ounce can of AC Pro Premium refrigerant with hose and gauge. Restrictions and details in store.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hi, this is Eli Gold. Have a question or comment for MRN or your favorite driver? Call our new fan hotline at 844-4ASK-MRN. Be a part of the voice of NASCAR at 844-4ASK-MRN.
Drivers have been called to their cars yet again this afternoon. They are buckling in right now, and we are hoping to get them back on the racetrack in a few moments. Rusty, one thing we've not seen so far today, and I guess it's because we've not had enough green flag laps, is the use of that extreme high lane, particularly in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, 3 and 4 has always been a part of the racetrack where you get a lot of momentum, you get a big run down the front straightaway. And we just haven't had anybody venture up there yet because we just haven't had enough time. And so the guys like Kyle Larson, who are really good at rim riding, I call it. Dale Earnhardt Jr., we're always seeing Dale Jr. up there, hasn't done none of that. Some of the specialists just haven't ventured out of their comfort zone yet, and they're staying down there. That's what we're going to see as this race goes on. And I'm afraid we're going to see a lot more chassis changes because these drivers that just haven't had any time to get these hot rods, I call them, tuned up yet.
The center of the racetrack in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 kind of is where everybody likes to run. But Joe Moore, it was Kevin Harvick who took to the bottom of the racetrack. That was where he was making up his ground. To Rusty's point, nobody's ventured topside. One driver in particular, Kevin Harvick, using the bottom of the racetrack, and he's been using it to his advantage.
Well, yesterday in the Xfinity race, we saw quite a few using that outside lane, but of course that came after 2 solid days of cars on the racetrack. All the practice, all the qualifying that led up to that race yesterday, but then with the rain, it all washes off.
Yeah, it's all done. But you mentioned Kevin Harvick about him running the bottom lane. He's one of the only ones. In my opinion, this year has been a fantastic year for Kevin Harvick, and it's been because he knows how to work that chassis. He's the type of guy that has built his own cars, constructed them, he's designed them, he's done all kind of stuff. This guy knows a race car in and out, and if there's anybody that's going to pull it off, Joe, it's going to be Kevin Harvick doing something like that. So I've been watching him for a long time right now, and he always amazes me. And people say, who do you think's one of the best drivers out there? Well, I said, well, obviously there's a bunch of them, but there's hardly any better than Kevin Harvick figuring the car out.
And that's why he is the race leader right now as we sit under the red flag, and the championship point leader by 49 points after the first 14 races of the year. From Michigan International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Fidgeting can make it easier to lose weight. Many couples think that once they're married, all their issues with in-laws will disappear, but Steinort says a marriage magnifies these problems, so if you're having family clashes with potential in-laws, it's best to resolve those issues before you get married. Just like couples can take out a loan for a house or a new car, there's been a huge surge in loan companies catering to wannabe parents.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
This is WOCA, News Talk 1370.
We are The Source, WOCA.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway as we sit here waiting for the cars to, first off for the drivers to get in the cars and wait for them to pull onto the racetrack and then wait for the next rain cell to come through. That's sort of been what we've been seeing over and over this afternoon.
I was going to say to you, try to say something positive right now, Joe. Let's explain why. As we sit here under the red flag, we can tell you that this track is about 95% dry, moments away from hearing those engines fire again. But Mike Bagley, out behind us, what do you see?
A whole lot of gray and a lot of rain falling from the sky behind the racetrack. We're dry as a bone right now, and we are under cloud cover out here in turn number 3. But the way these cells have been coming across this racetrack today, they've been coming from the front stretch to the back stretch. So while you look out and see blue skies behind you, looks like Mother Nature's getting ready to give us another drive-by here in a few minutes.
Let's make something positive out of that, Joe.
Sorry, Jeff.
Alex, how about you? Anything positive?
I don't know. Let's find out what David Reagan says. I mean, we're finding all kinds of positive things to say. You're sitting aboard the car, but your helmet's not on. I guess the positives, you're sitting aboard the race car. So positive mojo right now, David?
Well, first off, thanks to all the fans for sticking it out, man. This is a tough spot for us all, but we're ready to get 400 miles of racing here. NASCAR's doing a good job getting the racetrack dry, and we're going to keep working on this Aaron's Dream Machine. We need to get some more spots. So if I can figure out how to time my restarts and have some more good adjustments, we'll eventually work our way up. But thanks to all the fans for sticking it out, and we're getting ready to go again.
Yeah. By the way, Father's Day weekend next weekend, but you have your dad's name on top of the race car, Ken Reagan, out there. It's got to be pretty cool to do that.
Yeah, that was really a surprise. I got to thank Michael Waltrip and Rob Kaufman and, everybody. That was a cool deal. So happy Father's Day to everybody.
David Reagan is being told, get the helmet on. It's time to fire engines and let's go racing.
And we'll log another 5, 10, 15 laps, perhaps more. How would you like, Rusty Wallace, to have the jet fuel or track drying fuel business here at Michigan International Speedway this weekend?
Oh, man, you'd be a millionaire today. You'd make some serious money out there if you were putting jet fuel in all those blowers and then gasoline and all the Titans out there running around the racetrack, because I told you earlier, NASCAR was going to do what it takes to get this racetrack dry and get it going, and they always do. That's one thing you can rely on. And I've been around where a lot of people always said, hey, it's going to rain. Why don't you just go ahead and red flag it? They never give up. They don't quit.
Yeah, we'll stay here and try to get the thing run. And as you said, NASCAR's reputation is to stay until the last cow is hung, so to speak, to try to get the race rolling. And that's hopefully what we'll do again here this afternoon.
And we have, I believe, just been asked to, Brian, to give the command. All right, gentlemen, or ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. There you go, Joe. That's something positive. I needed time to practice that. Robin Pemberton just looked at me and shook his head like, do you not know how to give the command?
Yeah,
apparently I don't.
When is the last time that MRN's been asked to give the gentleman start your engines deal? But we just did, right?
Everybody else is worn out. We've done it so many times today.
Okay, Joe, you practice it next time.
Okay.
And then I'll do it the third time, because I got a feeling I'm going to get rained on again.
There you go.
It would be better than the one that I just gave. But you know what? It resulted in what we wanted to hear, and that is the engines coming to life down at pit road.
Yeah, they're fired up again. The drivers don't give up either. But I did find it pretty amusing when they said, drivers to your cars, get in. And all the fans before have been going, yay, yay, yay. And this time they went, yay. And then some of the drivers wouldn't get in.
Right.
They said, we're not getting in. We're not going to go through that routine again. But they're all in. These cars are fired up again right now. These drivers are ready to go again.
Yep. They were told, put your helmet on and get in the car. And so they're in there right now. They fired the engines, and we will try this game one more time this afternoon, maybe several more times before it's all over with. Kevin Harvick out front. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is second. Kyle Busch third, Carl Edwards fourth, and Casey Kane fifth. That's after 45 laps of racing, which has been a matter of stop and go since we started this afternoon around 1:16 Eastern Time.
Right now, so realistically, 3 hours ago, because it's 4:16 Eastern unofficially right now. Normally, this is a 3-hour race. We've now got 3 hours in. We've done 45 laps, bringing our average speed well down below the normal.
Well, you say about 7.5 miles per hour. Is that what it's done? But we're about 25% through this race right now, and I'll tell you what, I've been in this position before, and it's really hard to lose your focus. I mean, you've got to stay focused right now. The team's got to regroup. They got to know that they got weather everywhere, and it's really easy at this point to get upset, let your guard down. But these crew chiefs and drivers, they got to buckle back down again, refocus, start refiguring fuel mileage, things like that, get back in the game, because this thing might go green right now, which it will go green right now, I believe. And let's just hope it makes it to the very end.
Okay, well, if it doesn't, that's another consideration. We might be racing to halfway because this string of weather cells continues way to the west of us, moving in this direction. Everybody knows this could be a race to halfway.
Yeah, it really would be. And I guarantee the radars are going crazy down there. The laptops are running. They're looking at all the weather radar. A lot of them have very, very advanced weather radar on their pit boxes, hooked to their trucks, hooked to their motorhomes, or wherever they have it hooked up to. But they know exactly how fast the weather is moving. They know where it's at, and they are all over it right now.
And all over it is all over the back straightaway with 43, make it 42 cars. Alex Bowman, the only car in the garage. The other 42 working down the back straightaway under the caution. Hopefully, in a moment, We're going to go back under the green flag. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has won the Daytona 500 for the second time.
Dale Jr., driver of the number 88 Hendrick Motorsports Chevy, here to talk to you about the official fuel of NASCAR, and that's Sunoco. Sunoco makes high-quality performance fuels for the greatest drivers in the world, on and off the track. Whether I'm pulling up to the pump or off pit road, Sunoco is the fuel that keeps me going. From the racetrack to the road home, I fill up with official fuel of NASCAR. Sunoco.
Great sales call today.
It'd be nice to find a hotel in our budget.
Budget? I've got your budget.
Whoa, who do you work for?
I'm the Wyndham Rewards Wizard, and I work for you. Let's go!
Whoa, this bed is a dream.
And all it took was 3,000 points and some cash, and you are on the budget. Wizard out.
3,000 Wyndham Rewards points plus some cash gets a night at thousands of Wyndham Rewards hotels. Start with 3,000 bonus points this summer. Visit WyndhamRewards.com for details. You've earned this.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to give Winston Kelly, Steve Post, and Alex Hayden a bit of a break. When we come back, we'll take you around the racetrack, bring in Dave Moody, Mike Bagley, and hopefully the green flag from Michigan International Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
47 laps are now complete because the field just crossed the stripe, although they are working under the caution flag. Let's get to it, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it might be. We are topside in the Carfax.com broadcast tower. Outside, in it all, our turn announcers, Dave Moody and Mike Bagley. Dave, let's start with you.
Well, this has been the well-behaved end of the racetrack all day. It's Bagley's end that's been a recurrent problem. But I'll just say this, Jeff. There is a big old black cell, and it's probably going to be a question of about an eighth of a mile, whether it gets this end of the racetrack in the next 10 minutes or it just kind of skirts off over the back straightaway and around us without getting us wet. Right now, reasonably optimistic. How about your end, Mike?
Well, we were fine here, but until you blamed me, all of a sudden we're getting some sprinkling here at turns 3 and 4. This seems to, Dave's point, be the trouble spot here this weekend, or actually today for the rain. And it's starting to get moderate right now, and we're not yet having to deploy the lifeboats for the 4th time of the afternoon, but we're pretty close to it, but we're hanging on, and fingers are crossed out here that this will skirt us.
A lot of race fans hanging out here today wanting to see the Quicken Loans 400. Of course, the drivers wanted to get this race done so they can take a little bit of a break. And Rusty Wallace, it's very important to get a break at this point in the season. We're past the halfway part of the regular season, and it's a long stretch till we get to Homestead and Ford Championship weekend. It's very important for these guys to get a little time to breathe.
I'll tell you, Joe, well said, because there's been many times that, I've been in these things, and we're just behind, man. We're just running. The car's not handling good. Week after week, we can't get everything going. We got ideas about how to bring out another car, but we don't have time. And when you get behind and you're not running the way you want to, you need a break. It gives you a time to get caught back up, to fix the problems that you can't get fixed. And I will promise you, there's a lot of teams right now thinking about what I just said because they're in that same position. We need a break. We got to get caught back up. We got to get that new engine out here. We got to get the body off this car. We got a new design figured out. I know these are all super teams, but everybody needs a break every now and then, and that's what you're going to get next week.
Well, let's get the race in, and then we'll take our next break. We've had 3 of them already. One lasted 59 minutes and 4 seconds. Another one 34 minutes and 9 seconds. Yet again, it was 35 minutes and 38 seconds. But Kim Kuhn, yeah, we probably lost a spectator or two that said, you know what, I got to get out of here. But when you look around this place here at the Michigan International Speedway, a lot of people still hanging on, hoping to get it all in here this afternoon.
You're right. I'm at the start-finish line looking at the grandstands, and they're pretty full, I got to say. Very impressed by the fans that are out here today. And for the fans that are listening, if you've stuck around to join us through all these red flags, why don't you go ahead and tweet us your seat. Tweet us using both hashtag AskMRN and hashtag TweetYourSeat. Let us know what you're seeing, because, again, lots of people still in the stands here today at Michigan International Speedway.
All right, thanks, Kim Kuhn. Field comes up off turn number 4. The yellow flag is still out. NASCAR is reporting some very light rain on the back stretch. We cannot go back under the green flag until that stops. We look at the clouds. Every time you look out of the window here from our position atop the grandstand here in the main tower, you see a different picture. One time it's dark clouds. The next time you see the sun popping out, a little bit of blue sky here and there, and all of a sudden here comes another dark cloud again.
And it won't stop.
No.
It's hard to keep talking about it because that's the big story today, the rain, the weather, and all that. But, you know, another big story, in my opinion, what about Martin Truex's big win at Pocono? What about how he's been running that single-car team? A lot of people have been talking to me this week about it. How in the world can a team that is like that be so good against these super teams?
Well, yeah, a single-car team and being that far out of the pocket of the racing world in Charlotte, North Carolina. Here's the interesting part of that. Barney Visser, the team owner, was not at Pocono last week. Okay, that team has one other victory that came at Darlington Raceway with Regan Smith. He didn't go to that one either. So he's never experienced the thrill of being at the racetrack and seeing his car go into victory lane. After all the years he's been involved in this, after all the money he's spent to try to make a winning team, he's never been able to go to Gatorade victory lane.
And I hate that for him because he's a fantastic owner here in NASCAR, and he will experience another victory. Hopefully it's pretty soon, but I get asked the question all the time, why is the team so good? I tell them, I said it's extreme focus. They got one thing to focus on. It's that one particular car. It's not a 3 or a 4-car team. I like what's going on out there. They kind of got away from all the craziness sometimes that happens around the Charlotte, North Carolina area, and they're really focused out there in Colorado, but it's probably not the place to be. But they're getting it done. But they got great support out of Richard Childress, the engines, chassis, things like that. But it sure is good to see Martin so good in that 78 car and see the little single-car teams revived and back up front.
Against the super mega teams that are based in the Charlotte area. By the way, Barney Visser is here today, and Martin told me the other day, said he'll probably be at all the races from now on. He does not want to miss out on an opportunity to enjoy that celebration in Gatorade victory lane. The field crosses the start-finish line. They've received the 1-to-go signal. So we're going to try it again as the skies brighten up once again. Let's set the field for you. Kevin Harvick and Dale Earnhardt Jr., they're on the front row. Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards restarting 3rd and 4th. 5th is Casey Kane. 6th will be Matt Kenseth. 7th, Martin Truex Jr. Kurt Busch lines up 8th. Then it's Ty Dillon and Brad Keselowski.
Ryan Newman set to go from the 11th spot. Then Ryan Blaney, 12th. Jeff Gordon, 13th. And Tony Stewart, 14th. Austin Dillon, 15th. 16th will be Kyle Larson. 17th, Clint Boyer. A.J. Allmendinger set to go from 18th. 19th, Jamie McMurray. And Joey Logano is 20th.
Paul Menard 21st, Eric Almirola 22nd, Landon Castle lines up 23rd. It's Denny Hamlin 24th, David Reagan 25th, Trevor Bayne lines up in 26th, followed by Casey Mears in 27th, Sam Hornish Jr. 28th, Justin Allgaier 29th, and J.J. Yaley 30th.
Michael Annett, he's set to go from 31st. Danica Patrick 32nd, Brett Moffitt 33rd, Greg Biffle 34th. David Gilliland, 35th. Jeb Burton, 36th. 37th, Jimmy Johnson. That's right, work to do there. Jimmy in 37th. Cole Witt, 38th. Matt D. Benedetto running 39th. 40th, Josh Wise. 41st, Mike Bliss. 42nd, Ricky Stenhouse. 42 cars looking for the American Ethanol green flag.
Believe it or not, we're going back under the green flag. Only question is how long will it be this time? Hopefully more than 10 laps. Here they go, headed for turn number 1. Kevin Harvick trying to break away.
Making the most of the opportunity, running that outside lane. He will lead them into turn number 1. The battle on now for second. Carl Edwards rides the outside lane. He'll power past Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Edwards will take second. Earnhardt falls to third as they continue to stack up now inside of the top 10. Running in the fourth spot, you got Matt Kenseth, and they're side by side for fifth. Here's Kyle Busch to the inside of his brother Kurt with Greg Keselowski looking on.
One car that did not come up to speed was Denny Hamlin. We'll follow up there in a moment. Here
Kyle Busch is in the wall. Off turn number 4, the car shot to the right. He hit the outside retaining wall. Everybody else is streaming by, and the caution flag is out yet again.
Denny Hamlin, check that. Denny Hamlin's teammate Kyle Busch making heavy contact with the outside retaining wall right front on that car, torn up very severely. He makes his way over in front of Dave Moody, who's got a bird's eye view of Kyle's Toyota.
He is down on the apron, just limping along now. You're right, Jeff. The right side of that car pretty well used up. Emphasis on the right front corner. There's a problem for sure on that machine, although interestingly, looks like the right front tire is up on that car as he limps down the backstretch toward pit road.
And guys, at the same time, we've had a downpour here in turns 3 and 4. Matter of fact, we've lost the track just that quick. A brief downpour of about 10 or 15 seconds, and the track is gone right now in 3 and 4.
Wow, tough break for Kyle Busch. Again, needed to have some good finishes to work his way to the chase and try to have an opportunity to make the top 30. This is not going to help at all. Winston Kelly.
No, it's not going to help at all. Kyle Busch, most of the crew is headed toward the garage area. I flipped over his channel. I generally keep a separate radio on, and it sounded like he said something about rain, but not sure what it was doing in that corner. It's just bright, sunshiny where we are here on pit road, so haven't been able to follow up with anybody to see exactly what happened, whether he cut a tire or something else caused him to slip. But I thought I heard him say something about rain on the radio, but not 100% sure about what caused the accident.
He might have got caught off guard with the rain a little bit because he was underneath his brother Kurt Busch, and as he exited turn 4, he just flat got arrow loose, lost the back of the car. It kicked out really big time. He had the wheel steered to the right, and when that thing caught, it went right across the racetrack, hit the wall head on with the right front corner guys, and tore that number 18 M&M's car to pieces. But that was just a classic case of getting loose. He lost it, was corrected, and boy, when you hit that wall, it tore the right front corner clear off that 18 car.
The rain continues to plague us today at Michigan.
The future isn't going to be all teleportation and anti-gravity. Things are still going to weigh a ton, or 2, or 5, and you're still going to have to move them. Do it with the future of tough. Introducing the all-new 2015 Ford F-150. Its high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body makes it up to 700 pounds lighter and tougher than any other F-150 ever built. Because with less of its own lard to haul around, something awesome happens. It can tow more of yours. The most of any half-ton pickup, 12,200 pounds. Knock, knock, the future's here, and so is your truck. This is the all-new Ford F-150. Climb in and feel what it's like to drive the future of tough.
Claims based on a properly equipped 2015 F-150 with available features. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR.
This is 10-time NHRA winner Doug Herbert. Marty F. and I talk all things NHRA on the Straight Line live Wednesday at noon Eastern at MRN.com or the MRN app. Now back to Joe Moore and Jeff Striegel.
Back at Michigan with the rain just kind of popping in over turns 3 and 4. Coinciding with Kyle Busch coming off turn number 4. He slammed the outside retaining wall, a flash shower, and suddenly, once again, the sun is shining brightly over the entire racetrack. Jimmy Johnson with a cloud following him all afternoon so far, Alex Hayden.
Well, yeah, there's one small cloud, I would say, and that was earlier in one of the green flag runs that we had. Had some slight damage with contact with another race car at the left rear corner of his car, and they pulled the fender out on, well, one of those other caution or red flag periods as we were coming to red, I should say. So that's been the only problem. Here's what they're doing, and this is Chad Knaus at his finest. This team has found out, and we've learned all weekend long as well, that believe it or not, here with this asphalt and this tire that Goodyear brought, this is a new right side tire here at Michigan that Goodyear brought to the racetrack, the lap times are actually faster on scuffed tires, meaning tires that have already been run. So sticker tires are not the best option. So with these quick cautions and these quick bursts that we're having, Chad Canal said we're already at the back of the field. Let's run a couple of hard laps. We'll come down when the next caution comes out, and we've got ourselves a set of scuffed tires to keep back here in the garage or in the pit area. So that team right now is doing a really good job of making sure they scuff up the tires because they know, based off of practice, that they're much faster than the stickers.
All right, we speculated on the cause for the crash for Kyle Busch. Here's what it sounded like from the cockpit.
Garage. It's raining over there. Is the suspension still working, Kyle? It's killed. It's killed, but it's hurt. What the hell is going on around here?
You can hear the frustration there. Rain is the one word that I picked out of all that. Rain caused the crash in turn number 4 and has sent Kyle Busch to the garage.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw him underneath his brother, just dead sideways and into the wall. But, yeah, just a little bit of moisture can break him loose. So, unfortunate for Kyle Busch. They had a great return yesterday, winning the race here, the Xfinity race. Now it ends today. But at least he can hold his head high that he made it back with a victory, and all his fans were loving that.
And I think you were talking about it, Joe. The importance of a good run here at Michigan will come up short. Right now, Kyle Busch being shown back in 42nd position. He's in the garage. Kevin Harvick is the race leader, 55 laps complete. Carl Edwards, second. Dale Earnhardt Jr., third. Matt Kenseth, and then Kurt Busch. That's your top 5.
From Michigan International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Chip, what are the 2 most important reasons people buy from Ford Lincoln of Ocala in Village Ford of Bellevue?
Easy. They've shopped everywhere else and found out that we have the selection and the price that can't be beat.
Exactly. People buy from us because they know when it comes to new Fords, no one comes close to our huge inventory of every model, equipment package, and color Ford has to offer.
And when it comes to price, Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue is unbeatable. Backed by our low price guarantee in writing.
We invite you to visit our websites at FordofOcala.com or MyVillageFord.com. View our complete inventory of new and certified pre-owned Fords. Then check out the long list of positive reviews from our customers who have purchased or had their vehicles serviced with us.
Although selection and price are important, you also receive the benefits of a courteous factory-trained certified staff that just makes doing business with Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue a real joy.
Come in for the selection.
Come in for the price.
Come to Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue, your family of Ford dealerships where we've got what it takes.
Hi, I'm Fran Darkington. When I need news, I pass the rest and tune to the source, WOCA.
Today's broadcast of the Quicken Loans 400 on the Motor Racing Network is brought to you in part by Ford, introducing the all-new Ford F-150, the future of tough. By NBC Sports, NASCAR makes its triumphant return to NBC Sports July 4th weekend. And by Bloomin' Mondays at Outback Steakhouse.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. Still working the caution after Kyle Busch hit the wall in turn number 4. And then we had a brief rain shower. And once again, the sun is shining brightly. This time it's down over turns 3 and 4. That's been the dark end of the track all day. And now the darkness is moving in over turns 1 and 2.
Over Dave Moody, over there. He was blaming Mike Bagley earlier, and now he is being rewarded for doing that. Now, one thing that we want to make sure that you're clear on, yes, we did get that brief downpour in 3 and 4, but we have not taken the cars off the racetrack. We are still circulating under the caution flag. In fact, I believe now officially we've ran more laps under the caution than we have under the green. We've got 57 in. We still, Joe, have 143 laps remaining in the 24 hours of Michigan.
But I'll tell you one thing, those teams are looking at 44 laps because they got to make it to lap 101. That's past halfway, and if they make it past halfway and it rains again real hard, NASCAR could call this race and it's over. So that's what they're looking at. A lot of them are saying, do I have enough fuel in the car to make it to that point? We just heard that Chad Knaus pitted at 48. He's got enough fuel, we know. But to me, the race right now is for another 44 laps.
Absolutely. I'm sure everybody, Winston Kelly down on pit road, is thinking that very thing. What can we do? How can we position ourselves to make it to halfway in case the bottom opens up again?
Well, the window to get to halfway is about a lap or two away. We heard the guys could go between 38 and 41 laps, and sometimes they're, a lap or two conservative on those projections. So he's gone 57 laps right now. So anytime now, if they give him the one to go, it's not going to surprise me to see some guys come down pit road and top it off with Sunoco fuel to be able to race to halfway, because we're getting very close to the window that they can do just that.
A number of these cars had to avoid the wrecked machine of Kyle Busch. A number of them may have gone through debris. Pit road is open, just coming off turn number 4. The green light is on there. That is the indication that these cars can pit without penalty, although a number of them, in fact, everybody so far, bypassing the entrance of pit road. Steve Post, obviously there's strategy playing out. I mean, there's just a number of things going on here today.
Well, exactly, and I agree with Rusty and Winston. This may be a 43 or 44 lap race, but when you look at the radar with all these pop-up showers, I'm not sure we're going to make it that far with another downpour. It's just the nature of today. So it's so difficult for these guys at this point to plan strategy, because no matter what we do at this point, the race is not official. So right now, just Jimmy Johnson back in as they continue to work on that car and change out, and they just topped him off with fuel. So Jimmy Johnson may have done just what you guys were talking about. He looks like he topped his car off with fuel, but everyone else stayed out on the racetrack as far as the lead runners.
That Chad Canals, always thinking ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking how far he can run on fuel and how much his driver can save him. And he's saying, look, these guys got to hit pit road yet. If we get down pit road right now, top this baby off, and it does somehow go, and we get another rain, we might be sitting in a catbird seat right now. So he's a real gambler, Canals is, and he's generally pretty smart and generally right.
Yeah, and although they're back in the 40th position right now, they're looking at the big picture here this afternoon. The field getting set to come back to the green flag. Quick update from the garage on Kyle Busch. Alex?
Yeah, he's still sitting inside this green Camry. The window net is up, which is all the indication I need not to come near the driver's cockpit. It means he doesn't want to talk, so we'll respect that. Also, there's a lot of M&M's crew members surrounding this car on the right front and the right rear of the machine. The most damage and the most severe is the fact that they caved in part of the right front suspension. It punctured the radiator. They've got to change that out. They've got to change some of the A-arms down here. A lot of different suspension pieces that have been broken here with the contact with the wall in the right front corner. Also, the right rear went up and had the outside safer barrier slap it around a little bit too. And that crispy M&M on the right rear corner, that yellow one, well, it's banged in pretty good and smushed. So they've got some body work down here trying to work on that as well.
We are 40 laps away from halfway. Back under the green flag, headed to Mike Bagley.
Kevin Harvick brings the field off the end of the back straightaway. New challenger at the back door. Matt Kenseth is there. Edwards rides third. Now Keselowski and Kurt Busch stack it up for the 4th position.
Kurt Busch on the top side of the racetrack. Keselowski on the bottom side of the track. Here they come to the start-finish line. Add to that equation, Casey Kane, the pole sitter. He's there fighting for 5th.
Kane around the outside of Brad Keselowski will take over that 5th spot. So it's Kurt Busch in 4th, although he gets tight, pushes up the banking. That throws him right back into the clutches of Keselowski and Kane.
Keselowski and Kane will race side by side of the back straightaway. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Martin Truex Jr. right behind them. But Kane will get the advantage at the entrance to the corner, but Keselowski is strong down low. He'll give him a run for that spot, but Kane is very strong topside.
That is the battle for the 5th spot. Brad Keselowski, Casey Kane contested, Dale Earnhardt Jr. right there, Martin Truex Jr. right there. And how about Ty Dillon? He too in this battle.
Truex moves around the outside of the Miller Lite Ford for Brad Keselowski. He'll take over that spot. Keselowski falls back into the clutches of Dillon. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Martin Truex Jr. beginning to get busy.
Now they're charting to advance towards the front of the field. Next up for Dale Jr., Casey Kane. About a car length separate those two off the end of the back straightaway. Kane will dial up the low lane. Earnhardt goes about a groove higher and will lose a car length in the process.
Further back, there is Ryan Blaney going to the top side of the racetrack. He's trying to hold off a challenge from right behind. Kyle Larson and Ryan Newman trying to bypass him in turn 1.
Newman is right there. Behind him comes the Tony Stewart machine. He's being shadowed by Eric Almirola, and Clint Boyer. Battles all over this racetrack right now as the field field begins to thin out the single file.
They will thin out onto the back straightaway, and Kevin Harvick, once he's gotten out front, he's starting to pull away from Matt Kenseth. The separation about 6 car lengths. The same back to Carl Edwards in third, and about 8 back to Kurt Busch, who rides fourth.
63 laps now complete. Kevin Harvick across the stripe. He shows the way. Nice advantage for him over Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Casey Kane. That is your top 5 working back in front of you, Dave.
That Casey Kane 5th place machine has got a rear view mirror. He's got Dale Earnhardt Jr. right behind him, about 2 car lengths back. Another car length back to Martin Truex Jr. as they race to the backstretch.
Problems for David Gilliland the last time through turns 3 and 4. Got up into the marbles and made contact with the safer barrier. He was able to bring the car down to the bottom of the racetrack and make his way towards the pit lane.
Nice job of saving the car. Gilliland comes off turn 4 and goes right into his pit stall, and now makes the hard left-hand turn back into the garage. Kevin Harvick at the front of the field. He's starting to pull away, Dave.
He is legging it out now. Over a second, the advantage for Kevin Harvick. Still right there, though, in the second spot is Matt Kenseth, and a good gap back to the 3rd place machine. That's Carl Edwards.
Dropping back to the battle for the 5th spot. That's where Casey Kane hangs on to that spot, at least for now. He's got Martin Truex Jr. now, who has made the pass around Dale Earnhardt Jr. Good 3-man dance for that position. Soon to be joined by 2 more challengers at the back door in the persons of Brett Keselowski and Ty Dillon.
Right behind them comes Kyle Larson, and you've got Ryan Blaney. You've got to go all the way back, even further back, in order to pick up a good side-by-side battle. They're working off turn number 4, coming across the stripe. It's Clint Boyer down to the inside of Tony Stewart. Behind them, you've got Austin Dillon working to the outside of Jamie McMurray.
McMurray's been struggling a bit since the green flag went back in the air. He's lost a handful of spots. He'll lose another one to Dillon. Here comes Jeff Gordon to the outside, trying to take another position from McMurray.
Gordon will climb the banking off turn 2 and onto the back straightaway. Gordon will complete the pass halfway up the back chute. McMurray looks in the rearview mirror. Paul Menard is right there at the back door. So is Joey Logano. As everybody spreads themselves out in the corner, Logano now is to the inside of Menard.
Let's go a little bit further back to Jimmy Johnson. We told you he restarted in the 40th position. They came down, got a splash of fuel. Jimmy picking his way through the field slowly but surely. He's moved now up into the 27th position. But Kevin Harvick out front. He leads the way back into the corner. The margin 0.7 of a second back to Matt Kenseth. He pulled away for a while, Jeff, but right now it's sort of stabilized between 1st and 2nd.
Matt looks very good right now. Differentiation between 1st and 2nd, about 15 car lengths. And how about Joe Gibbs Racing so far, Rusty Wallace? You've got one of Joe's cars, and with Matt running 2nd, Carl Edwards, he's strong. He's running into 3rd position. So not a bad showing with the cars running 2-3 at this particular point in the race.
Joe Gibbs Racing right now is running fantastic right here in the backyard of Ford and Chevrolet, and I will tell you, that's on their mind too. Toyota wants to outrun these guys. Before this race started, we all know going into it, this is very important for these guys to perform good in these guys' backyard. I'm talking about the backyard of Chevrolet and Ford. Toyota wants to beat them.
Here's Martin Truex trying to take away the 5th spot. Casey Kane has the position. Truex lightning fast here all weekend. He's underneath Casey. They're side by side in 1.
That battle's been shaping up for the last 10 or 12 laps as Truex slowly but surely reeled in Casey Kane's great foot Chevrolet. He'll waste no time at all. Passes Kane in turn 1. By the time they hit the backstretch, he's gone by 5.
Ever since we've gone back under the green flag, that Furniture Row racing car, Martin Truex Jr.'s, has come to life. As Dave mentioned, he has made the pass around Casey Kane and begins to pull away. Now, Kane is starting to get some pressure from Dale Earnhardt Jr. off the corner.
All of this going on while we are now just 31 laps away from the halfway point here at Michigan International Speedway. Kevin Harvick, he's the man yet again. He's out front. Matt Kenseth running 2nd. Carl Edwards 3rd. Kurt Busch 4th. And now Martin Truex Jr. inside the top 5.
Wrangler's 5-star premium denim jeans are built with a unique U-shaped construction. They don't cut into you like jeans with a V pattern. Nothing beats Wrangler comfort. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's July 4th weekend live from Daytona. It's about rockets, red glare, white knuckles, and blue steel. Love taps, trading paint, and taking flags. It's friends, family, and a whole lot of faith. America, start your engines. NASCAR is back on NBC. NBC. The Coke 0400 Sunday, July 5th on NBC. Coverage begins July 4th on NBCSN.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. for Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans.
Since 1947, Wrangler's been making comfortable jeans. That's over 60 years of keeping guys comfortable at work, at home, or out with friends. Comfort that fits right and looks great. What makes them so comfortable? Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans are built with a U-shaped construction so that they don't cut into you like jeans with a V pattern. Guaranteed comfort since 1947. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
Wasn't that long ago. In fact, it was on lap 58. We're only on lap 71. Check this out. If you recall, Jimmy Johnson was on pit road for fuel only. Steve Post told you that. He restarted back in 41st position. Jimmy Johnson now running 23rd. That car hooked up and moving to the front. Right now, Harvick at the front with 128 laps to go. From Michigan International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
If you or your family love the freedom of swimming any time of year, if you love sharing good times and making great memories, or if you want one of the best total body workouts ever, then it's time to discover the 3 C's of your very own endless pool. The first C is convenience. Imagine swimming year-round in your own private swimming pool, installed indoors or out, just steps away. The second C is comfort. With sculpted spa seats and your own adjustable temperature, you can easily escape the stress of your day. And the third C is cost. Your endless pool is an affordable luxury at a fraction of the cost of a regular pool. And here's a bonus C, choice. Because when you call for your free Endless Pool Idea Kit, you'll receive information on our full line of pools to suit your budget and location.
Call now for free information. 800-283-8089. 800-283-8089.
You're listening to the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series from Michigan International Speedway on one of 425 radio stations nationwide. If you're here at MIS, you're listening to Detroit's 1130 WDFN or Jackson's very own News Talk 970 WKHM. Wherever you are today, we thank you for spending your Sunday with Motor Racing Network.
Kevin Harvick just 2 laps ago had an advantage of 0.8 of a second over Matt Kenseth. 1 lap later, that lead now 2.2 seconds between the same 2 players. When you're in the groove, Dave, you're hooked up and hauling. When you get out of the groove, you got a handful.
That's exactly right, and if you don't believe me, ask Matt Kenseth, because he was closing the gap on Kevin Harvick, looked like he was going to be able to make a run for the lead, got way high in turn 2, gave up a ton of ground. It just happened again. He's going to lose second place.
Dave Moody, it looks like off of turn 2, though, that's not the only problem we've seen today. It looks like in your neck of the woods over there, a lot of guys are losing grip off of turn 2.
There are a lot of guys, Rusty, with very ill handling race cars. And when the 18-degree banking falls away to just 5 degrees at the exit of turn number 2, boy, we've seen guys like swatting flies, battling hornets inside these cars, trying to stay out of the fence at the exit of 2.
And an incident just like Dave is talking about has just cost Matt Kenseth the second spot. Carl Edwards has gone by and has taken the runner-up position. Kevin Harvick, meanwhile, has built his lead to 4 seconds over Carl Edwards. Kevin has now led in 14 straight races. The last driver to do that was Mark Martin between 2000 and 2001. That just speaks to how good Kevin Harvick and this race team is.
It's all about chemistry. When you've got it, you're good. When you don't, you're not so good. And one guy Steve Post looking for chemistry is Tony Stewart.
Yeah, Tony Stewart's been relatively happy with the balance on his race car. Lap 76, routine pit stop for Tony Stewart. They went with 2 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel, and this was a scheduled pit stop for him. As I said, they've been relatively happy with the balance on his race car, so Stewart headed back down on the speedway, 45 miles per hour as he works his way toward turn 1.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Johnson continues to climb the leaderboard, now up to the 20th position with 23 laps before halfway. Let's take a look at the AutoZone leaderboard. Kevin Harvick, the race leader, the margin right at 4 seconds over Carl Edwards. Matt Kenseth is in 3rd. 4th is Kurt Busch. Then 5th is Martin Truex Jr. 6th is Dale Earnhardt Jr. 7th is Casey Kane. In 8th, Brad Keselowski. 9th, Ty Dillon. And 10th is Kyle Larson.
11th is Ryan Blaney. Check that now. Ryan Newman, because Ryan Blaney, I believe, is on pit road in front of Steve Post.
Yes, he is. A lot of debris on the grill. First off is the thing I noticed about the Ford Motorcraft Ford Fusion. Throw it onto the left side, going to be 4 tires and fuel. They are chock-it full of Sunoco Racing fuel. Ryan Blaney grabs the gear. The Wood Brothers cars headed back to the Speedway from the famed Wood Brothers to the Richard Petty Motorsports car, Alex.
That familiar Petty Blue 73 Smithfield Foods Ford. Eric Almirola makes a 4-tire change, topped it off with Sunoco fuel, sent him back out on the racetrack as well here on lap 79.
Gave you the top 10. Let's go down the leaderboard and catch up on some of the other positions as they're running, as green flag pit stops are obviously underway. 11th right now, Ryan Newman. 12th is Austin Dillon. Jeff Gordon up at 13th. Clint Boyer is 14th. Paul Menard is in 15th. Joey Logano is 16th. 17th now Jimmy Johnson. Jamie McMurray is 18th. Casey Mears 19th, and in 20th, Denny Hamlin.
A.J. Allmendinger 21st, 22nd to Sam Hornish Jr., Trevor Bayne 23rd, Justin Allgaier 24th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 25th, David Reagan 26th, 27th, that's Danica Patrick, Landon Castle running 28th, Michael Annett 29th, and Greg Biffle is 30th.
31st is Cole Witt, 32nd Brett Moffitt, 33rd Josh Wise, Jeb Burton 34th, J.J. Yaley 35th, Mike Bliss is 36th, 37th is Matt DiBenedetto, 38th is Ryan Blaney, 39th Eric Almirola, Tony Stewart shown 40th, David Gilliland, Kyle Busch, and Alex Bowman out of the race, 41st, 42nd, and 43rd. That's a look at the AutoZone leaderboard. Get proven tough Duralast brakes, the official brakes of NASCAR. Sold only at AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
81 laps are complete. Harvick staying on the racetrack. He is the race leader. His teammate Kurt Busch just a lap ago on pit road in front of you, Alex.
Routine service, Jeff. Sunoco fuel. I did not see any wrenches go in the back window to adjust the chassis. They also changed all 4 tires. Kurt Busch having a pretty good day here as this long green flag run is beginning to take place. Let's go to Winston Kelly.
Sam Hornish Jr. in on lap number 81 as well. They cranked the wrench around 3 times, so a big chassis adjustment for Sam Hornish Jr. 4 tires in Sunoco fuel. Back to Alex.
A.J. Allmendinger on the pit lane. First can of Sunoco fuel in. They're changing right side tires. It will indeed be a 4-tire change. Here's the second can of Sunoco fuel going in. They're also going to work, it looks like they're going to pull a spring rubber. They're pulling the spring rubber out of the left rear for Allmendinger. He's down and away as Martin Truex Jr. is in.
Last weekend's winner on pit road, that would be Martin Truex Jr. They're going to make a wedge adjustment on the left side of the machine. Second can of Sunoco fuel going in. The pole sitter, Casey Kane, in pit stall number 1. Keith Rodden's going to call for 4 tires. Don't see any visible chassis adjustments on his machine here on lap number 82. Here comes the Budweiser Chevrolet, having led in 14 consecutive races. That's why he's the point leader. He's in pit stall number 2. Comes to within 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's to the attention of the crew. They're going to put the jack up, crank it up on the right side of this Budweiser Chevrolet. Red and white here this weekend. They're going to wheel around to the left side of the car. A 4-tire stop. Don't see any visible chassis adjustment. Ty Dillon stopping behind him. A good solid run for Ty Dillon early on here at Michigan. Steve Post.
Trevor Bayne brings the Advocare Ford in for Jack Roush. Crew around to the right side. Looks like a chassis adjustment as now they scamper around to the left side of that automobile. Second can of Sunoco fuel is in. Chassis adjustment is done. Trevor Bayne is down and away. More cars in front of Alex Hayden.
And that's Greg Biffle. They're going to make a big chassis adjustment. Matter of fact, they're doing it with the wedge on the right rear corner. They've got safety clean yellow and black colors this week for his Ford Fusion. Service is just about complete there. 4-tire change. Ryan Newman is in the Quicken Loans car. Here also is Jimmy Johnson. Johnson back in. They're going to change right side tires, pull the windshield tear off the way, give him a clean vision out. They're going to make a half turn of wedge on the right rear corner. 4-tire change for Jimmy Johnson's team. Winston Kelly.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in on lap number 84. It was a 4-tire stop for them as Justin Allgaier comes on here on lap 85 for 4 tires and fuel. Steve Post.
Matt Kent's at the Dollar General Toyota for Joe Gibbs is in waiting to make sure it's totally full of fuel. 4-tire stop looked like a quick one for Matt Kenseth. No visible chassis adjustments on that bright yellow automobile. Matt Kenseth's down and away. Clint Boyer brings his car into the attention of the new crew chief on that automobile. Billy Scott. Crew around to the right side. Looks like it's going to be a chassis adjustment on that car. 2 pit boxes in front of him. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. brings his Ford in. Crew around to the right side of that. So all of these scheduled and routine pit stops. Lap number 85 as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. crew. Now around to the left side. Sunoco Racing Fuel is in on that car. And Stenhouse going to wrap up his pit work. Winston, looks like Brad Keselowski's headed your way.
He's going to give up the lead to come down pit road. He's in pit stall number 4, slides the Miller Lite Ford into the pit stall. They work on the right side of the machine first. Right side tires, 1 can of Sunoco fuel going in. Looks like there might have been a slight hesitation on the right front. Wheel around to the left side on this car. It's going to be a 4-tire stop for Brad Keselowski. Alex?
American Ethanol on board Austin Dillon Chevrolet this weekend. That green and black clad team with a great pit stop. They ripped off a beauty. No visible chassis adjustment. He likes the handling of the race car for Austin Dillon. Steve Post.
Jamie McMurray's in. The big red McDonald's Chevrolet is in. 4 tires, no visible chassis adjustment. Fuel for Jamie McMurray. He's got his pit service. He's done, and he's down and away. Lap number 87.
Leaders cycling through green flag pit stops. We're down to 12 before halfway.
When you're Ryan Newman barreling around the racetrack at 200 miles per hour, you rely on your instinct. You rely on your car. Most of all, you rely on your crew. Just like I rely on Granger. Granger is my pit crew. Getting me what I need when I need it. Helping me keep this place on the right track. Making me fast. Does this make me the Ryan Newman of this facility? No. Well, maybe. Just don't call me Rocket Man. Get it? Got it? Good. Call clickgranger.com or stop by. Granger. For the ones who get it done.
The following was recorded at a Burger King drive-thru at breakfast.
Morning, welcome to Burger King.
Can I get a bacon, egg, and cheese for sandwich?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Croissant-wich. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Croissant-wich, silly, I told you already. Get 2 flaky, light, buttery croissant-wich sandwiches for just $4.
What's going on?
Knock, knock.
Get 2 Croissant-wich breakfast sandwiches for just $4, only at Burger King. Limited time only. Price and participation vary.
We continue cycling through green flag pit stops here as we approach the halfway point of today's Quicken Loans 400. Couple more of the leaders in front of you, Steve Post.
Well, Jeff Gordon was in on lap number 87 1 lap ago. It was 4 tires of chassis adjustment and fuel. Not sure what is going on because the pit board appears to be out again for Jeff Gordon. So we're going to have to get out there and check and see. We're waiting for Gordon to peel off from turn number 4. So maybe a problem on a pit stop, but it looks like it might be a 2-stop sequence here for Jeff Gordon, and that is never a good thing.
Our pit road coverage is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Remember, Father's Day is June 21st. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts where you'll find gift cards and hundreds of great Father's Day gifts, from tools to air compressors and flashlights. O'Reilly Auto Parts has exactly what he wants at guaranteed low prices. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Tim from halfway, Joey Logano is in front of Denny Hamlin, Casey Mears, Danica Patrick, and Kevin Harvick. And from Michigan International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
It's all over at Martinsville, Virginia. Richard Petty has pulled it off.
Throwback Thursday, classic MRN race broadcasts on MRN.com.
Waltrip will win the track race to turn 3. Earnhardt gets him. Hard into the wall goes Waltrip. Hard goes Earnhardt. Everybody else spins either way.
Out of the number 4 corner down to the line. Neil Bonnet is going to win the Northwestern Bank 400. He'll beat Waltrip a 2-car length.
What a finish here at North Wilkesboro.
Throwback Thursday, Thursdays at 12:30 Eastern on MRN.com.
Hi, this is NASCAR Live's Eli Gold. For over 30 years, you've been asking questions to your favorite drivers every Tuesday night. Well, you don't have to wait for Tuesday any longer. Call Motor Racing Network's brand new fan hotline at 844-4ASK-MRN to leave a question or comment for your favorites.
The NFL plays regular season games at Wembley in London. So what are your thoughts about how NASCAR could expand internationally?
Be a part of the voice of NASCAR. Call 844-4ASK-MRN.
Back at Michigan International Speedway, counting down to halfway today, and although we're racing sort of for the halfway point, it actually looks about as good as it's looked all day here today, Rusty.
Yeah, it looks real good right now. I was telling you a little while ago about the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson. You know, he pitted early. He had enough fuel to go like 104. That would have put him 3 laps past the halfway point. But when he looked up his crew chief and saw that it looked like the rain was going to stay away and everybody else started hitting pit road, he said, hey, man, I better not get out of sync. Get on down. Let's get this thing pitted. But not so lucky for the 24 car of Jeff Gordon. He brought down pit road, loose lug nuts. That's the second time they've had problems today. It's about time for them to kind of shake it off and get back in the game.
Absolutely. Joey Logano is still out front at lap number 93. A mid-race update coming up with Eli Gold. First, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Time for a mid-race update brought to you by Progressive Insurance. We are now 6 laps shy of the halfway point. Joey Logano currently the race leader ahead of Danica Patrick. Then everyone will cycle back around, wrapping up their green flag pit stops, and Kevin Harvick will eventually climb the leaderboard again to have the top spot ahead of Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards. Couple of notes. Winston mentioned earlier that Kevin Harvick has now led 14 straight races. Last time that happened back in the 2000 and 2001 seasons when Mark Martin led 14 races in a row. Also, a nice tip of the hat to Ty Dillon, making his first run here at Michigan International Speedway. He's been running as high as 9th place. With the pit stop taking place now for Joey Logano, Danica Patrick becomes the most recent race leader. And again, Kevin Harvick will take over the top spot as soon as Danica chooses to come down the pit lane. Hey folks, last year over 3 million drivers switched to Progressive. Call or click today and find out if you could save. It's all from Progressive Insurance. Now at lap 95, 5 shy of halfway, back upstairs to the Carfax.com broadcast tower. Joe, Jeff, and Rusty. Fellas.
Thank you, Eli. Danica Patrick, as you point out, is the race leader. We should see her on pit road in just a moment. She was following Joey Logano, and as we work the back straightaway, Joey Logano looked like A, out of gas, or B, flat left rear tire.
Yeah, he had 2 things going on there. The left rear quarter panel was bent in pretty good on top of the left rear tire. He was wiggling back and forth, so it was hard to tell if he had a left rear going down or else he was out of fuel because he had a pit. It was about time for him to hit down pit road, so could have been either one.
I can help you with that, guys, as he came in front of me in turn number 2. That car sputtered and gurgled and ran out of fuel, and he had to nurse it all the way down the backstretch to pit road.
And now Danica Patrick comes off of turn number 4. We'll follow her stop and then get an update on Joey Logano. Here comes Danica Patrick.
That bright green Chevrolet will slide to a stop. Perfect marks. They're going to make a wedge adjustment on the right rear, changing right side tires. First can of Sunoco fuel in. They're definitely going to have to do 2 full cans, so they might as well change all 4, but they're slow on the right front, and that means they're going to be slow on the left side. So the pit stop, not exactly what they were hoping for here. 2 cans of Sunoco fuel, but they were awfully slow getting all the lug nuts on the right front, which made the left side even slower.
So let's follow up now with Joey Logano. Joey being shown now back in the 21st position. Winston Kelly.
Yeah, he was able to come down pit road. Todd Gordon kept him out. Counting the caution flag laps, 54 laps, a long way, did run out on the back straightaway, but the car had picked back up and restarted coming down pit road because they didn't have to put in ether into the machine. Came down pit road, made a wedge and air pressure adjustment. Of course, 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, and returning to the racetrack.
And Rusty, we talk about strategy here, trying to stretch your fuel mileage at Michigan. Let's go back and take a look at this. On lap 77, the first car to make a green flag stop was Tony Stewart. Again,